All right, it is now 6:25. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott just now joining us. We have a tornado warning for Coleman County. That is in our extreme northernmost counties across Alabama. And again, that storm is moving in an east-southeast direction. In fact, this activity is over our North Alabama counties we've been watching, but is trending kind of southeast. So our northern counties will be likely impacted over the next several hours, especially for the potential for a tornado with that. Again, let me leave you with the radar quickly and show you what we got going on. Again, I'm going to get the information from the National Weather Service, and we do have Jacob Lanier, who is in the Weather Center. And Jacob, if you want to mention what that tornado warning has, the information on that quickly.
Yeah, the storm is moving east at 45 miles per hour, and we're looking for the potential for a tornado and also quarter-sized hail with this. And Richard, this is radar indicated rotation now moving across northern Coleman County. Okay, so it's radar indication of tornado here. Let me move you into Coleman County, show you exactly where we're talking about. And again, this is a storm, Jacob, that had earlier a confirmed tornado with that. I believe that's the same storm that moved across far northwest Alabama. I agree with you, and as it's strengthened, it's kind of taken a southern turn to it, and that's why it's kind of clipped into Coleman.
So again, this is the latest situation on that. And again, if you're watching us up in areas like the battleground community of Vinemont, it looks like this is going to stay north of the downtown Coleman area, but understand this storm is moving off towards the east-southeast. And again, what was the speed on that?
45 miles per hour.
Okay, so 45 miles per hour. Again, this is radar indicated rotation with this particular thunderstorm. So again, if you are just now joining us, it is 6:28. I'm Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. We've got Jacob Lanier, the Weather Center. We got a dangerous tornadic thunderstorm with a radar indicated rotation with this. And again, this is north of Coleman County. Here's the Coleman County line, and what the deal is, this storm is moving in kind of this fashion off towards east-southeast. And since that is indeed happening, that is going to impact our far northern counties here. So again, Vinemont up 31, and on Interstate 65, we want you to pull over now and find a safe place to get. Obviously, a car in a situation like this is a dangerous place to be in, so we want you out of a car. If you're in a mobile home, again, towards the Vinemont area, back towards the Willits community as well, right on the Coleman-Morgan County line. That's where we are concerned about. If you look carefully, you kind of see that appendage there in that storm, that swirl feature right over the Penn community. That is where the potential is for a tornado, again, across Coleman County. So if you are watching us in northern Coleman County, we do have the potential for a tornado. We got Jacob Lanier, the Weather Center, is updating the blog and social media as well. I do want to remind you we're also streaming online at WVUA23.com. Just checking on that now. And that is another source of information for you. And so far, I haven't seen any reports, Jacob, out of this in terms of rotation, in terms of damage being reported so far. Have you seen anything yet?
No, we're just seeing some thunderstorm wind damage north of that area, but storm right now.
All right, I'm going to put on the velocity product here, and we're going to kind of look at this. And clearly, you can see the rotation with this very close to the Penn community. Again, that's in Morgan County in Alabama. That's on the northern tip of Coleman County. The rotation is actually to the north of Coleman County at the moment, but again, it is moving in that direction off towards the east-southeast, where what it's going to do is just kind of clip the northern tip of the county. So in reality, if you're watching us in the majority of Coleman County, you are not in a warning area, but I am concerned about you for friends up towards Vinemont. So really, the major population area is Vinemont. That's going to be in this. We got the battleground community, the Will Heights community as well. And you see the rotational signature that is actually to the north of there, but again, it's close enough to the Coleman County line where we want to kind of alert you. Let me look at the hazards on this thing, kind of see. And again, what we're looking at is rotation. This is the mesocyclone. That's the storm rotation with this. And what is happening is the storm is basically rotating and the upper levels of the atmosphere. It's not a surface-based rotation that we are seeing in the moment, but it doesn't really matter because we still want you in that safe place. So I'm going to pull up the information on the screen here and show you what we got. The tornado impact, the number is extremely low, which is interesting to see that, Jacob. For some reason, it's showing a 0. I don't know if I quite believe that. because the environment we're in is conducive for tornadic storms up there.
Yeah, and on the velocity, I'm seeing really strong rotation and wind signatures here, a couplet just to the north of Addison, Alabama, that's moving towards Falkville and South Vinemont over the next couple of minutes.
Okay, so there are several tornadic storms up here, and let me kind of take you out to a wide view, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to pull up the watch warning map, and again, you see the tornado warning that covers the very northern part of the county there, Coleman County. That's that storm that's kind of coming out of the Morgan County area, southern Morgan County, moving east-southeast, but again, if you are in Coleman, that is the latest situation on that, as we do have a potential for a tornado. Let me show everybody out there, because I know a lot of people are asking, what about my local area? Is there any severe weather in my area? And currently there's no active severe weather ongoing south of that Highway 278 corridor. In fact, the areas around Hamilton, we got a severe thunderstorm warning. We got that tornado warning north of the Highway 278 corridor, north of Coleman, but everybody else under tornado watch until 11 o'clock tonight. And again, that includes areas to the north of Highway 80 right now. But if you're south of Highway 80, we actually technically do not have a watch for you. All right, so there's your tornadic storm, that little appendage right there, that's your hook feature. There's Battleground, there's Highway 157, there's Interstate 65. We also got Highway 31, U.S. Highway 31 that runs north of Coleman. But Coleman, you're not in that. So again, that is a good thing that the city of Coleman, a large population area, is not under that tornado warning. I'll pull on the velocity display and show you what we got here. There's your rotational signature, which is up here near the Penn community, but it's moving like that off towards the east-southeast, and that basically means it's going to move in the northern part of the county. Let me put on the warning and show you who's in the warning. And the red polygon is the tornado warning itself. And if you look carefully, I mean, we're talking about the northern, about 5 or 6 miles of Coleman County. There's Walker's Corner down there. We got Holly Pond over here in East Coleman County. Coleman, again, that's all in that Highway 278 corridor you see right there that runs back to Jones Chapel. It's all north of you. So basically what we're telling you, if you are along and to the south of Highway 278, currently there's not a tornado risk with this particular storm. Now, could that change? Sure, but that's the way it looks right now. I do want to look at the lightning display because, you know, a lot of times lightning will tell you how strong or violent a thunderstorm is, and incredible amount of lightning. I mean, you can't even see the radar underneath that. So this shows you there's a very powerful updraft with this thunderstorm. There's also a hail risk with this. I think there's going to be some hail with this storm. It is a very tall storm. Let's see if we've got any reports so far from this. And so far, I do not see anything. I see a hail report up here. But I don't see anything out of this storm, but it certainly has that supercell characteristic. You see your appendage right there, that's your hook echo, that's your rotation right there. We'll look at the debris signature, see if we can see anything right here with that, and hopefully not. And again, it's just very noisy here. I can't see any well-defined sign of debris with that. So that is fantastic news. Hopefully that will continue. Looks like we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning down in Winston County. And we got Jacob Lanier in the Weather Center. Jacob, what's happening with that storm?
Yeah, that new severe thunderstorm warning is for winds up to 60 miles per hour and 1 3/4 inch hail. That's for Winston County, and it goes until 7:15. And that storm is moving to the east, also at 45 miles per hour. So the center of that storm, where the largest hail is located right over the Corinth recreational area, or 7 miles northwest of Arley, Richard.
Okay, so we got two severe thunderstorm warnings, one for Marion County, one for Winston County. We've got one tornado warning for extreme northern Coleman County. And let me take you back over the radar display and show you what we're looking at with that. I'm going to go over to Columbus radar, see if we get a better perspective. That's a tornadic storm there that's moving out of Morgan County into extreme northern Coleman. Let me pan back off towards the west and just kind of show you live here what we're looking at for the other severe storm. And clearly, there's a hail potential from that. Again, this is coming out of Double Springs now. Here's the Highway 278 corridor. You see it runs from Jones Chapel back to Addison, back to Double Springs. And again, if I were you, I would not drive on 278 right now. There's going to be some really large hail. Anytime you see that black shade, even some gray, that represents extremely large hail with that. A likely golf ball size hail coming out of this storm. Addison is coming right towards you, and then Jones Chapel. There's Smith Lake you see down there below Crane Hill, and again, Smith Lake, you're south of that, but if you're on Smith Lake, you can likely hear the thunder and see the dark ominous clouds to your northwest. That storm is not tornadic, but it is severe. Let me go back off towards the west a little more, show you another storm. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. This is north of Highway 278, northeast of Hamilton now. And again, areas like Hackleburg and Bear Creek and Haydenville, you're going to be impacted by this storm as it moves northeast like that. So again, a heads up for Haydenville, Bear Creek, Hackleburg, and areas around that. That's where we're talking about for the potential for some large hail and perhaps some damaging straight line winds. There's a Highway 241 corridor that runs down below Bear Creek. We got Highway 13 that runs up through here. And again, really right this intersection, that's where we're looking at the heaviest potential for some hail with this and damaging straight line winds. Let me put on the hazards with this and see what we've got, and see if we have any thing tripping on that in terms of large hail. Fortunately, no, which is a good thing. That doesn't mean there's not any large hail there. Keep in mind the atmosphere is very conducive for severe thunderstorms today across the northern portion of Alabama. There's the warning polygon. Again, that's the severe thunderstorm warning for the northeastern half of Marion County. Let me take you back over to the other storm. We got 3 of those we're watching. Here's Winston County. Again, the orange is the severe thunderstorm warning polygon for the northeastern portion of Winston County. There's 278 where it runs into 257 right over Addison. That's where the large hail potential is now. Moving towards New Georgia, Upshaw community. Okay, let me move off towards east just a little bit more and show you what we got elsewhere. We got a tornado warning again for northern Cullman County. Now, Coleman County is an interesting deal. You can watch us on TV in Coleman County, but it's in the Huntsville National Weather Service warning area. So Huntsville will pull the trigger on a tornado warning while we cover that on television. Again, you see some counties being out of the taken out of the tornado warning, but we still have the tornado warning for the community of Vinemont up 31 up Interstate 65 as well. I'll pull on the radar display again. Tell you what, let me pull up the velocity while I've got you here. And so far, I do not see extreme sign of rotation. I think we're looking at this out of high top. Let me see if I can back it off just a little bit. Yeah, and again, you got rotation right there. Do you see that couplet where you see the red and green that are very close together? This is actually north of Coleman County. This is technically north of our coverage area out of in Morgan County. I do not see any sign of rotation that's actually in Coleman County, but again, we technically have a tornado warning for Coleman County. So you're going to be on TV for that to give you an update of what's happening. I'll tell you what, let me go over to the watch warning map. Again, you see the tornado watch that's including all the counties in yellow. That includes areas north of Highway 80. This is what I think is going to happen for the rest of the evening. And now the highest potential for a tornado is going to be up here over northern Alabama. We're talking about north of Interstate 20, up here towards Hamilton and Coleman, Jones Chapel, back towards Weiss Lake and Gadsden, Anniston. Areas like Adiana, that's where we're looking at for the potential for tornadoes the highest. Now, that's where that moderate risk is. To the south of that, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Rockford, and Clanton, while there is a threat for severe weather, it is a little more limited in these cities. It should be more of an isolated risk of severe weather. Now, keep in mind, in this area, there could be a damaging wind gust, large hail, and there could be a tornado here. But the highest potential for a strong tornado or two will be in that orange shaded area across northern Alabama. I want to show you this. This is a live look from Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, and we are looking off towards the north, and you can see those clouds well to the north of Tuscaloosa, some of those towering cumulus clouds, cumulonimbus clouds, and the thunderstorms that are associated with those. And again, that is well north of Tuscaloosa. Here in the city, it's very warm out there. We got 79 with a south wind at 15, and we did hit a high of 80 in the Tuscaloosa area. So again, that is incredible.
Hey, Richard, I would like to chime in here. The Coleman emergency manager is just now reporting that there is a tornado on the ground near Battleground. That's along Alabama 157. So that's probably just right in that tornado warning where we're looking.
Yeah, Battleground is right on the county line. So you see the Will Heights community, that is where we are talking about. And it looks like there's an update on that tornado warning if you want to.
Yeah,
check that.
so the Huntsville National Weather Service has just said that a tornado is now observed in Coleman County with hail now 2.5 inches possible. So that is huge hail possible in Coleman and Morgan counties.
That's incredible. I mean, that is enormous. Now, I'm going to look see if we can see a debris signature with this. I just cannot see a clear evidence of debris, but it doesn't matter. We've got somebody that has eyes on it. So again, a very dangerous situation for extreme northern Coleman County. So again, this thing came through Battleground. It's in North Vinemont now. The Centerville area of Coleman County. Understand that is Coleman County, Centerville, not Bibb County. That is where we're looking at for the potential for a tornado with that. Again, a dangerous thunderstorm that is very capable of producing a tornado according to the National Weather Service in Huntsville. They have a confirmed tornado with that as it is moving off towards...
It's moving towards east at 40 miles per hour, so it's actually slowed down slightly as it still continues to curve southward into Coleman County.
Okay, I tell you what, we'll do a track on this. And you said it's moving at 40 miles per hour. We'll track this out to the east. And again, these are communities that are in the path of this potential or confirmed tornado according to the National Weather Service reports here. And again, if you are in places like North Vinemont, we're talking about a 6:48 in terms of when the tornado could be on top of you. So that's basically now. You need to be in your safe place. 6:58, closer to 7 o'clock, the Eva community, 7:03 Fairview, Joppa, if it holds together, that's 7:14. Arab, that is 7:20. Union Grove, 7:26. And Gunnersville at 7:37. So again, those are times of arrival according to our computer algorithm, the times of estimate times of arrival there. And again, areas like Thrasher's Crossroads, you're going to be in the path of that, back towards Baileyton as well for the chance for tornado here. And I do want to mention with this now, if you're in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm, you need to be in the lowest floor of your home. You got to be out of a mobile home. If you're in a mobile home, find a site-built structure somewhere that you can basically get away from the debris, get away from the wind, the strong, violent wind that are associated with these tornadic storms. And really concerned about this. It actually looks like two areas of rotation. One up here near Falkville, and then the Will Heights community, see that, and then you've got areas like Vinemont. So right here is area rotation, and then there's another area rotation just to the north of that. So really concerned about this. It's coming across extreme north Coleman County. So if you're north of Coleman, north of that Highway 278 corridor, that's what we're talking about. So if you're down here in Coleman, back towards Holly Pond, Brooksville, Summit, you're okay. This is going to be just to your north, but understand there could be more storms after this that come on through. So again, that's the Coleman County storm. Let me back you off to the west. I'm going to put on the let's put on Columbus radar and just kind of show you what it looks like there. And again, there's your clear evidence of rotation right there. That is your pendage or hook echo we talk about when we talk about supercell type of thunderstorms. That's where there's higher potential for a tornado here in northern Coleman County, right on the county line. I mean, this is literally hugging the Coleman-Morgan County line. That's the latest on that storm. Let me...
Yeah, Richard, I also do have some more reports. So that tornado that has just moved across Alabama 157, we're now getting reports of a lot of trees down along that highway, again, near Battleground in Coleman County.
Yeah, so that's literally on the county line. So 157, is there anything official on the National Weather Service, or is that reports?
No, that's just coming from a spotter along Alabama 157.
Yeah, once it officially becomes a chat room report, they'll actually post this on here and we can see it live. Let's see if we've got anything yet. Not yet, but I imagine at any time, Jacob, they are going to post that on there to where you can see the damage reports live on. But again, this is a very classic supercell storm that is dangerous, and it's basically hugging the county line. It has come through Battleground. You see Battleground right here. This is that Highway 157 corridor. It has now crossed Interstate 65. Hopefully nobody was on the road there as this tornado crossed Interstate 65 close to Coleman-Morgan County line. There's Eva, that is officially in Morgan County. We got Baileyton right here and Thrasher's Crossroads right here. And again, there's Highway 69 that runs north of Sycamore and Coleman. I would say if you're on 69 north of Sycamore towards Baileyton, I would pull over, find a safe place now. And keep in mind, if you are on the north side of this thunderstorm, I know this is technically in Morgan County, but if you're up here close to 6 Mile and Apple Grove, we are talking about some giant hail with this. So large hail that could crack and bust your windshield. That is very dangerous there. That's about to cross Highway 67. That is, again, in Morgan County. Again, there's your rotational signature, really classic look there. You got your hook echo with your inflow notch, your warm, moist air that's rotating into the updraft region of a thunderstorm, and it doesn't get more classic than that. And again, we have a very high likelihood there's a tornado still there. I'll pull up the velocity product and we'll look at this together. And again, it's kind of interesting. You got area rotation down here, and then you got more up here. Almost like 2 areas of rotation with this storm, but it doesn't matter. If you're up here north of 278, that's where you need to be in a safe place. Let me put on the warning display and show you where it is. Okay, so we got a tornado warning right here, and this tornado warning goes until 7 o'clock for extreme northern Coleman County. So again, this is to the north of Coleman, Walker's Corner, Holly Pond, technically north of Sycamore, and we'll likely see this thing extended east just a bit, probably hugging the county line where Highway 69 crosses into out of Coleman County into Morgan County. That's likely where we'll see this tornado warning extended past 7 o'clock. Again, at 6:46 now. If you're just now joining us, Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. We got Jacob Lanier in the Weather Center as well. Do want to remind you, lots of updates online, Facebook, Twitter, our weather blog. If you go over to WVUA23.com and click on that weather tab, we got updates here. Jacob?
So in addition to the tornado threat with this storm, Richard, like you were saying, hail is a big threat. And over on County Road 1382, that's in Cullman County, 1 mile west of Interstate 65, we have a radio report of 1-inch size hail. And I know the warning includes 2.5-inch hail, so very large hail, over 1 inch possible with this storm as it does move to the east again at 45 miles per hour in northern Coleman County.
So again, if you're now joining us, what we're looking at is the potential for large hail and damaging winds with this storm. So really has me concerned, for areas north of 278, but it had kind of southeast component. Is that continuing, you think?
Yeah, I think it's continuing to curve slightly south as it also did slow down. Yeah. We're still getting now a new tornado warning now for Coleman, Morgan, and Marshall. So they're continuing the tornado warning right now in Coleman County. That goes until 7:15 p.m. And again, we're still seeing that radar indicated rotation and hail up to 2.5 inches possible. Just a few moments ago, there was a official tornado report of a tornado reserve on the ground. That was near Battleground along Alabama 157 in Coleman County. The storm has now moved east across Interstate 65 and continues to move at about 45 miles per hour. So again, if you're just joining us, our graphics are about to update. We have a brand new tornado warning for more of northern Coleman County that also extends into Marshall and Morgan, Richard.
Yeah, so again, we'll stay on this until at least 7:15, and then that's when it will move out of our county warning area more than likely, unless it does move more southeast, and then that could be a concern for our friends up in Blount County. So again, up towards the Summit and Brooksville. But again, they did include technically Coleman County, the city of Coleman with that particular storm.
And yeah, Richard, that kind of reflects this southerly component of this storm, as it does. So Blount County could be down the line.
Blount County is certainly in line of this, northern Blount County. Now, this is a live look in Coleman County. This is very close to the city of Coleman right now. So just a heads up, this is what it looks like in northern Coleman County. This is north of the city of Coleman. We got a live storm chaser feed, and again, the rain is incredibly heavy. There's going to be some large hail in the area as well. So again, this is a very dangerous situation up here in North Coleman County for certainly potential for a tornado that could still be down. We haven't had any damage reports in a little while, but it doesn't really matter because this thing could still drop a tornado. And there's also, we need to watch that storm back in Marion County as well for the potential for some rotation. Don't see a lot now, but there's potential for some rotation looking at that from the Birmingham.
Yeah, looking from the Birmingham side, back in Marion County, very close to Haleyville right now, I'm seeing a strong velocity couplet, so we are watching for a potential tornado or funnel cloud there. And so the Huntsville National Weather Service is continuing the tornado warning for Cullman County. This does now include the city of Coleman as this storm kind of curves to the south towards Blount County. And then as I'm looking at the velocity right now, I'm not exactly sure where this chaser is, but definitely heavy rain. I think the tightest rotation couplet right now is just to the north of Fairview in Coleman County.
Yeah, let's pull this back up on the radar and show you what we're looking at. And again, there's definitely, here's the new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way. That includes Jones Chapel. That's for very large hail. What's the size hail on that?
We're looking at hail size up to 1.5 inches there, and that
Wow.
also goes till 7:15.
And again, that does include Coleman as well, so we could have the potential for some really large hail coming into Coleman shortly. Let me show you everybody out there, because I know a lot of people are asking about, what about my area? Because there's a lot happening in a small area, generally speaking, across northwest Alabama. If you're up here again in the Coleman area, that's where most of this activity is happening. But let me take you out to a wide view, show you everybody out there. If you are watching us in areas like Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, down towards Rockford, Demopolis, Linden, it is incredibly quiet. It's a very warm and muggy evening, and based off of our high-resolution computer model data, based off of the trends, based off of the atmospheric setup with the wind flow and the convergence, it certainly looks like the highest risk of severe weather is going to continue up here in extreme North Alabama over the next few hours. Now, we could see this activity trend further southeast and just have not seen any sign of that happening just yet. But again, the reason we're on air is for a tornado warning that is in Coleman County. Before we go to that, let me take you into Marion County. Again, this is a storm that is severe, that is approaching the Haleyville area. Let me change the radar site so you can get a better perspective of this. I'm going to go over to the Columbus radar. And again, the severe storm is now moving into Winston County. That was severe. The National Weather Service has not issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Winston County. I can tell you right now, there's pretty large hailfall in Haleyville. Likely quarter-size hail coming into the Haleyville area. This is downtown Haleyville. Understand that's not a tornado warning at the moment, but there's a high possibility of a large hail here, and there could be a tornado develop on the backside of this. But again, currently there's no warning for Winston County, but I can tell you based off of what we're seeing on our radar is there's likely some large hail coming into downtown Haleyville right now, right on the intersection of 13 and 195, okay? And where 129 interchanges at 13, right here on the south side of town, that is where your large hail is coming right into downtown Haleyville. So if you're watching us in Haleyville, be ready, because you got some large hail falling right now. And again, this is going to continue moving off towards the northeast like that. So let me go back out to home view quickly, and I'm going to zoom into a storm that does have us concerned. Let me go into Coleman County. Understand we had a severe thunderstorm warning for East Winston County. That's now into Coleman County. We have certainly a potential for some large hail here. And again, this storm has me concerned. This coming across, just moved across the north end of Smith Lake. And again, it's areas like Jones Chapel. That's where we're looking at, certainly for a risk of large hail. Let me change radar sites. We're looking at the Columbus radar. I'm going to see if Birmingham gives us a better perspective of the storm.
Richard, as you're changing that radar site, you might want to turn on the velocity, because I'm seeing a very tight couplet just to the north of Fairview, moving to Baileyton over the next few minutes. Just a very tight, the tightest couplet I've seen over the past couple of scans. Yeah,
let me pull on the velocity here. Tell you what, I'm going to have to do this on the computer manually real quick so you can see that. And again, if you're just now join us on TV, what we've got is a situation where there is a dangerous thunderstorm in Coleman County that has the potential for producing a tornado that is moving off towards the east. And again, any reports coming out of this so far?
Right now in Cullman County, I'm not seeing any reports, Richard, but I am seeing the potential for tennis ball-sized hail
Wow.
in this storm, in addition to the tight velocity couplet that could be signifying a tornado. This is now in northern Cullman County, off to the northeast of Cullman City. And this warning does go until 7:15. So again, moving off to the east at 60 miles per hour now. It's sped up, Richard, as it moves off to the south.
Wow, so it must be riding a boundary. You know, there's a lot of storms up there earlier, Jacob, we've been talking about, and does that have any kind of tie into what's happening with, you know, where the storm's going to rotate more, where's the best chance of a storm producing a tornado? And I think that might be some of that rain-cool boundary that slipped into northern Coleman County, so it's kind of riding that boundary. That's why it's moving more of a southeast direction, it looks like.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Richard. And actually, I'm just getting a report now from the Coleman emergency manager that we have a tornado touchdown near Vinemont. That's in Coleman County. Right now, a possible tornado on the ground in northern Coleman County, and that is near Vinemont. So a very serious situation indeed.
Yeah, you know, Coleman County's in a spot where the radar is so far away, it's hard to be able to detect the low-level rotation with this. But again, what we're talking about, there's Vinemont there. And again, we've got rotation right here that's moving across the Coleman-Morgan County line. And let me pull back on the reflectivity from Birmingham. Tell you what, let me see how we look at high top. And again, we'll just go from there. Let me put it in a play mode real quick and where you can see that.
I'd also like to point out, Richard, that we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now in Winston County. That goes until 8 o'clock tonight for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds and hail up to 1 inch. That's near Brushy Lake, moving towards Haleyville at about 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, Jacob, that was the storm we were just talking about. That was right over downtown Haleyville that's moving right over town, and it's now beginning to move just east of town. There's your severe thunderstorm warning polygon. So the Ash Ridge community, there's Highway 33. We've got Grayson, Moreland, Barnett, Chapel. You're going to be in the path of this large hail potential. And understand there's a lot of cold air aloft that's above the ground, and you can have with a lot of instability available, you can have some pretty large hail with this. And this is just getting out of Haleyville now. And there's the city. You see the hail cores now on the east side of town, really riding 195 towards Ashridge, the Ashridge community. Let me pan off towards the east, and I'll take you into the Coleman County because that's where our tornado warning is. And we really need to watch that storm down here near Jones Chapel. Looks like we have a new tornado warning for that. Yeah.
And Richard, we do have
a tornado warning. That's it.
We have a brand new tornado warning now in Coleman County.
Yeah.
That's going until 7:30. So again, radar indicated rotation and hail 1.5 inches in size. That's 10 miles due west of Coleman, moving east at 35 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's it right there. So again, we're just talking about that pendage we need to watch carefully. So we've got new area rotation on the north side of Smith Lake. There's Crane Hill, the Trimble community. You've got Brushy Pond down here. There's the city of Coleman. So this is going to be a direct impact to the city of Coleman for the potential for a tornado. So we now have a large population center that's in the direct path of a tornado. Let me pull on the velocity display, and yeah, look at that. Incredible, the rotation with this just north of Crane Hill. Yeah, check this out, Jacob. We got certainly some strong winds here, some inbound and outbound winds. The red representing where air is blowing away from radar, the green air blowing towards radar. And you put those two together, you got what we call a couplet. And there's no doubt there's some pretty strong rotation there. This is moving just like that towards Coleman. And we got to watch that carefully, Jacob.
Yeah, that's right. So it's 10 miles due west of Coleman, and it is moving at 30 per hour. Tornado and ping pong ball size hail possible. So
we got a dual threat here of a large hail and a tornado, and likely a damaging wind threat as well. So you know, this is a very dangerous thunderstorm. And what you're looking at is, so we have two rotating thunderstorms in Coleman County. Let me put on the Birmingham reflectivity. And this one on the south seems to be kind of winning out, it looks like, the one that's coming into Coleman. That is a very tight couplet, strong evidence of rotation that is basically following Highway 278 into Coleman. So if you are north of Crane Hill, north of Trimble, if you're near Good Hope, you need to be in a safe place now. That includes the lowest floor of your home, but as many windows as many walls between you and the outside as possible until this tornado passes.
Yeah, that's right, Richard. And I like you were saying, this looks to be like the strongest rotation we've seen just because there's no rain to the south of it. And so that is allowing fresh inflow into this storm that is really tightening up this rotation.
Yeah, there's no competition for this storm. I mean, it's just straight off the Gulf into this, and that is very concerning. And I'm going to pull on the hazards display and see if we got anything. Our computer algorithm is not showing much there, which I'm really surprised that it's not. We've got TVS for the northern one that's, again, that's moving along the Coleman and Morgan County line. We got a TVS signature with that did have some confirmed damage with that and a confirmed tornado. There we go. We got a mesocyclone being reported. Tripped by our algorithm here, our computer, and let me pull on the details on this. And again, it's showing a large hail impact. It's moving east at about 45 miles per hour, 100% chance of severe hail, which is not good. And there's also the chance there could be a tornado with this. So let me go back over to the radar. I'm going to try high top and see how far away we are. And yeah, it's just too far away to get a good perspective from this. I'll go back over to Birmingham. And the structure of this, Jacob, is really incredible. You've got your tight hook echo feature that's on the back side of the storm, and that is really concerning.
Yeah, you can see the weak echo region between that rotation and Interstate 65. So again, if you're along Interstate 65, Dodge City, Good Hope, or the city of Cullman, you need to be in your safe place. This is a potential tornado on the ground moving to the east very rapidly at about let me see how fast it's moving, at about 35 miles per hour. As it continues a slightly east-southeast trend, I would say that it will be right on top of Interstate 65 within the next 10 or 15 minutes. This new tornado warning does go until 7:30, again, for Coleman County. So much of Coleman County now, in places Dodge City, Good Hope, and northwards are now under a tornado warning until 7:30.
Goodness, so we've got certainly a dangerous situation for our friends in Coleman. This tornado is literally heading towards downtown Coleman. And if you are watching us in the city of Coleman, you have got to be in a safe place now. This is an extremely dangerous situation for a tornadic storm that is moving directly your way. And we've got a live feed here that's in the city of Coleman. We're going to watch this very carefully, again, of a potential for a tornado that's coming into town. And Jacob, it will be very interesting to watch this feed in the next 10 minutes because our friends in Coleman are in serious trouble with the potential for a tornado that could be here, and there could be a sizable tornado with this.
Yeah, Richard, was this chaser just getting off Interstate 65?
Yes.
Is that what it looked like? So what we're looking at is due north into the heaviest rain of this storm, possible hail. That's between Good Hope and the city of Coleman right now over Interstate 65. And to the west of that, about 5 miles now, we have a potential tornado on the ground in Coleman County. We have a tornado warning going until 7:30 p.m. We have radar indicated rotation, and just to the north of this chaser, now I think he is continuing north, if I saw that correctly, and to possibly some of the largest hail in this storm as he moves north towards Coleman along Interstate 65, Richard.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, to watch this feed because I'm really concerned about our friends in Coleman. There's extremely large hail coming into Coleman literally right now, and also we got the potential that it's high for a tornado that's coming into the city of Coleman. This is a situation where you need to be in a safe place now. If you are in downtown Coleman all the way down to Good Hope, I would say from South Vinemont all the way down to Good Hope. If you're in Dodge City, you're okay. The tornado is going to be to your north. But if you're in downtown Coleman, this is an incredibly tight circulation that is heading directly towards the city of Coleman and Good Hope. And this is about to cross Interstate 65. It's the most significant radar signature I've seen today with this.
That's right, Richard. And the tornado threat now is in central Cullman County, but we do have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for Blount County. That goes till 7:45 for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and golf ball sized hail. So this storm is massive and it's covering 2 counties here across central Alabama. Tornado and hail, both a very large threat.
Yeah, let me take you over the radar display, and I'm going to show you this here. My goodness, Coleman, I'm really concerned about you. You need to be underground if you can, away from windows, in a small interior room, in a bathroom or a closet. We've got a big risk of a tornado here. Let me look at the velocity display. And again, what you're looking at is a couplet that's coming into town, into the Coleman area, that is about to cross Interstate 65 shortly. And let's see, this is an old scan. We're waiting to get a new update from our velocity product.
And yeah, Richard, so this storm about 20 minutes ago was to the north of Coleman, north of South Vinemont, and I'm getting in more reports now of trees and structural damage in Falkville. That's in Morgan County, but this storm has now moved south into Coleman County, and that's why we're very concerned.
Yeah, there's those two storms there. There's the one that's hugging the county line, and then the second one that has developed to the south there. It looks like I've got a new tornado warning update.
Yeah, that's right. We have another tornado warning now for Coleman County that goes till 7:30. In addition to the tornado threat, ping pong ball sized hail, and this is moving. This is right near Good Hope and Coleman, so you need to be in your safe place right now, and it is moving east at 35 miles per hour.
Yeah, this is a dangerous setup. I mean, you know, Coleman was hard hit back on April 27, 2011. The EF4 tornado went right through downtown Coleman. It was a tragic, tragic storm and a tragic situation, and we're looking at a tornado path that's going to potentially move right over the city of Coleman. We can hope and pray this thing has lifted, but we cannot guarantee that. We've got a live view. Let me take you into Coleman now. And again, we are watching this feed very carefully. Looks like a storm chaser south of the hail core, south of the rain. If there's a tornado here, we're about to see it within a matter of minutes. So again, just a heads up, if you are in Coleman and Good Hope, you need to be underground if you can, out of a mobile home immediately. It's too late if you're in downtown Coleman. You need to be in your safe place 10 minutes ago.
That's right, Richard. And as we're looking due north, you can see these clouds are slowly moving to the west, and that is the inflow that's being pulled into this tornadic supercell now, just moments away from the city of Coleman, north of Good Hope, and it will be south. It's looking south now, so we're still looking at that inflow.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go, yes. Wow,
so now we're
dark
looking
clouds.
north, as you're talking about, into this storm, and internet connectivity is kind of going in and out, so let's just watch this carefully. And again, what you're looking at is a live feed. This is from Interstate 65 that's just south of downtown Coleman, and we have a high potential. There's a tornado here, and we are really concerned about this. Again, in the city of Coleman and Good Hope. So let me take you over to radar and show you this again, where we're talking about for the potential, which is very high, of a tornado here. Look at the hail core on this thing coming into downtown Coleman. It's going to be bad in terms of a hail core coming right over a major city.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could see hail 1.5 to 2 inches falling from the center of this storm. But this is now up Alabama 69, and the storm is right now crossing Interstate 65. So anywhere from Grandview to Coleman, you need to be in your safe place right now. As you can see, just this very large storm, nothing to the south impeding. It's strengthening, and that's why we're concerned with this storm. We're continuing to see rotation with this as it does move to the east at 35 miles per hour.
Yeah, this is a very dangerous setup. We're looking at Interstate 65, a feed there, and we're going to try to get that back here in just a second. But again, this is a storm that is capable of producing a tornado that is right over Coleman and Good Hope in those areas. So again, if you are just now joining us, I'm Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. We got Jacob Lanier in the Weather Center as well. And we are carefully watching a dangerous storm that is coming through Coleman County, central Coleman County. Looks like areas like Good Hope and Coleman will be directly impacted by this. So we're going to go back over to the feed here and see what we can see. Unfortunately, it's starting to get kind of dark there.
Yes, I'm very concerned for anyone along Interstate 65 or to the east of between Good Hope and Coleman. Richard, I'm just now getting a report. This storm's cluster about 30 minutes ago was over Morgan County. We're still getting some reports of structural damage there, and so I'm really hoping
and that's for the northern storm.
Right, the northern portion of this system.
Now, the National Weather Service, they went ahead and issued severe thunderstorm warning for Blount County rather than a tornado warning. The rotation with that one has weakened some, but look at the speed here. The wind is incredible that's flowing into this thing. And we're just watching this thing live. Unbelievable winds here with this. We hope the storm chasers are all safe out there that are trying to get this incredible video of a potential for a tornado. And looks like I've got a new severe thunderstorm warning for Blount County, or is that a new one?
This is continuing, but really the emphasis on that thunderstorm warning was 2.5-inch hail, and I'm really thinking that's possible now over Interstate 65.
Look at this. We got a tennis ball size hail falling in Coleman. Tennis ball size hail falling in the large city. That is not good. Look at the hail in the video here. You can see it bouncing off the road. Very large hail falling in Coleman. That is incredible. Something you never want to drive through. I've actually driven through a hailstorm before, and there's nothing worse than the sound of your windshield cracking in the hail. And this is very large hail coming through Coleman now. Again, this is a tennis ball size hail being reported in downtown Coleman. We also have the potential for a tornado, which is very high there.
And Richard, we do now have another tornado warning for Coleman County. This is going till 7:45, so we're continuing to see this tornado threat in Coleman County extended. This is now for the tornadic rotation very close to Joppa, moving east at 45 miles per hour. And just like was reported, we're looking at the potential for tennis ball sized hail in addition to a tornado in this storm system between Good Hope and Coleman.
Just incredible video we're watching live here in the Coleman area. And again, this is on Interstate 65 looking into this storm. And we just saw the large hail there with this speed. And this something you don't want to drive through is large hail. And it looks like our storm chasers getting south of that hail core now and trying to get us a good perspective of a tornado with this. But it's just hard to see. Look at that. Baseball size hail now in 2 miles southwest of Coleman. Baseball size hail. That is incredible.
Yeah, that is definitely almost 3 inches large in hail. And so, wow.
Yeah, our feed here is now just south of Coleman. And look how fast it went from large hail to nothing at all. Looks like it's just sprinkling there. But again, this is a tornado threat and a large hail threat for Coleman and Good Hope in central Coleman County. Looks like the tornado threat is now passing a little southeast of the city of Coleman. Hopefully there was no damage in there, but we know there's going to be some hail damage.
Yeah, I'm very concerned, Richard, because with this large hail now, it looks like any possible tornado is becoming rain-wrapped, and so it's just not going to be visible until the tornado is right on top of any location. Now moving to, it's now on the east side of Interstate 65 south of Coleman. All
right, I'm going to take you back over to radar, and Jacob, if you'll keep an eye on that feed and see what we've got there. We got an incredible team of storm spotters out there, and we are very thankful for the information they give because it will help the warning process. It will help people down the road that are in the path of these storms to know what's coming at them. But again, let me take you into Coleman County where we do have the potential certainly for 2 tornadoes, one that's in extreme northeast Coleman County and one that is in central Coleman County. There's 2 different thunderstorms that are kind of merging here. And this storm, goodness, is coming through Coleman. Look at the hail core on this thing. You see the shades of white and gray. That represents very large hail. We've had reports of baseball-size hail with this actual thunderstorm. And here's your inflow notch. And again, if you're watching us in areas just north of Johnson's Crossings, we got Walker's Corner right there. Holly Pond, you're in the direct path of this tornado. That's on Highway 91. Where it meets up with Highway 278. You see 278 and 91 intersect right here. That's where this thing is heading. Let me tell you what, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit and show you a wide view just for a moment because I want to do a pan on this thing. And Jacob, if you will remind me the speed this thing is moving off to the east.
Yeah, this tornado warning is now moving off to the east at 45 miles per hour.
Okay. So we got a storm that's moving 45 miles per hour off to the east. Let me do a cone on this and show you who's in the path of this thing. So there it is, just on the southeast side of Coleman, moving east at 45 miles per hour. Okay, here's the times of arrival. Okay, so we got areas like the Walter community at 7:27. Okay, we got Holly Pond at 7:32, Brooksville at 7:44, the Sneed community at 7:51. So those are computer estimate times of arrival of this tornadic thunderstorm. Whitesville at 8:05, Albertville at 8:09. So again, there's your track of that storm off to the east at about 45 miles per hour. If it holds together, areas like the Sardis community could be in the direct path of this in about, I'd say at about 1 hour from now, if it holds together. Now, we have another tornadic storm to the north of that. Let me take this off, and I'm going to pan you off to the north just a little bit. So there's another tornadic storm up here that's on the county line. There's Blount County, there's Coleman County, and we got a Morgan County right here. Okay, there's Arab, Gunnersville, Union Grove. You're under a tornado warning with that. Let me put on the warning display and show you what we got here in terms of where the warnings are. So there you go. There's the tornado warning for Coleman County. See, Holly Pond is directly in that. Blount County so far not. And then we got Morgan County's now out of the tornado warning, looks like.
That's right, Richard. We also have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Cullman County. That's also going till 7:45. The National Weather Service is indicating that a tornado is possible in this storm as it continues to move to the east at 40 miles per hour.
So they basically issued a severe thunderstorm warning with the context of possible tornado with that. But again, we got Marshall County, which is out of our coverage areas northeast of Blount County. That is the new tornado warning up here. And again, that's still 7:45, but that rotation is about out of Coleman County. The other rotation is down here in Coleman, just to the southeast of town. Now let me put on the velocity display and show you what we got here. Again, we got rotation right here that is approaching Holly Pond from the southeast. Now, the rotation is not as tight as it was just a little bit earlier, but it's still there. There's your other rotation that's just on the south side of Arab, right on Highway 231, north of Brooksville. I'll tell you what, I'm going to zoom into both of these and show you where we're looking at. And again, we got two areas of rotation. So let me take you into Coleman down here. The city of Coleman, the tornado threat has ended with that storm. There's your rotation. I mean, you got your bright green and bright red couplet here. Again, this is just north of the Hanceville area. There's Holly Pond right there. So if you're in Holly Pond, you need to be in a safe place immediately. There's Highway 278. Okay, it's now crossed east of Interstate 65. I'll put on the velocity, I'll put on the reflectivity. And there it is. It's right here. It's now east of I-65. The tornado threat for Coleman for that storm has ended. So again, we got a dangerous thunderstorm now east-southeast of the city of Coleman. And it continues tracking that direction about 40 miles per hour. So let me pan this off to the west a little bit, or pan off towards the east. There's Holly Pond. There's Highway 91, 278 intersection. Very large hail is going to be falling into Holly Pond soon. We'll likely see some golf ball, potentially larger hail. It really looks like the hail core has weakened a little bit with that, Jacob.
That's right, Richard. But as this storm passed through Coleman, we now have two reports. Near the Coleman Emergency Operations Center, there is a potential touchdown. We're getting multiple reports of roof damage around that area. In addition to that, with the hail threat, we have unconfirmed reports of many vehicles with their windshields smashed by baseball-sized hail near the Coleman area. So as you're pointing out, this storm is slowly weakening as it moves off to the east.
And it looks like we've got a new tornado warning for Blount County, Jacob.
Oh, yes, that is just in for Blount County. That goes till 8 p.m. And so this storm, again, showing that continued tight rotation, located right near Holly Pond or 7 miles west of Blountsville, moving east at 50 miles per hour now. So a tornado threat and tennis ball sized hail, 2.5 inches possible as this storm now moves into Blount County.
Yeah, and we're looking at the watch warning map, and the red polygons, that's your tornado warning. And again, the new tornado warning for Blount County includes areas to the north of the Cleveland community, north of Aniana. All right. If you are in Blountsville, or if you're in Brooksville, you need to be in a safe place, including the Snead community, because this tornadic circulation is moving your way. So heads up. We got a new tornado warning just issued 1 minute ago for Blount County, and that includes this dangerous thunderstorm that's coming out of Coleman County. And the rotation is still there, still tight evidence of rotation. I do not see any other storms that are rotating at the moment.
Right.
To the west of that.
I would agree with you, Richard, and that's good news. But this storm has nothing to the south,
yeah.
And so it's continuing to recycle and possibly produce another tornado.
Yeah, and what you're looking at the couplet with this particular thunderstorm. And again, the Coleman County line is right here. We got Coleman County here. There's Holly Pond. There's Blount County. We got Blountsville, Brooksville. Okay, we got the Royal community. There's Snead there on 75. This tornadic circulation right there, you see the couplet, the bright green and the bright red. That indicates rotation, and we're looking at rotation from the radar site out of Birmingham. So to give you an idea of where we're looking at wind here that's blowing south, wind here that's blowing north, and there's your cyclonic rotation just south and west of Holly Pond. Based off of this trajectory, it really looks like Holly Pond is going to be to the north of the tornadic circulation, but you could be in that large hail threat. So again, Holly Pond could be spared in terms of the tornado potential from that. But let me look at the reflectivity. There's your tornadic circulation there. There's the Blount-Coleman County line. There's Blountsville, Royal, Susan Moore there. There's Highway 75, okay? 231 runs up here right on the county line or just south of the county line up to between Brooksville and Holly Pond. Runs into Highway 278. That's where this thing's going to cross. It's going to cross Highway 231 just north of Cleveland. And then it's going to cross Highway 79 very close to Brooksville. As this thing continues to move off towards the east like that at about 40 miles per hour. So, again, a dangerous thunderstorm with that. I'm going to look at the debris signature, see if we can see anything there. And I do not see any screaming evidence of debris, which is good. We'll put on our hazard display and our computer showing a mesocyclone, which is rotation. Basically, the updraft is rotating. Okay. The velocity continues to show rotation right here, about to move completely into Blount County, out of Coleman County, just south of Holly Pond. So, again, if you're just now joining us, Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott, along with Jacob Lanier in the Weather Center, we are watching a dangerous threat for severe weather this afternoon and this evening, or now tonight, for northern Alabama, mainly for our counties across North Alabama. Now, we technically have a tornado watch for all of central and west Alabama north of Highway 80. If you are in Blount County, northern Blount County, north of Aniana, or Coleman County, east of Coleman, that's where a tornado warning polygon is for that. And we do have several tornado warnings up in the Tennessee Valley counties. As you see the red polygons up here near the Huntsville market. But we do have also, I want to note, a severe thunderstorm warning for Winston County and a severe thunderstorm warning for Coleman County. So that's the latest on that. So the time frame, what we're talking about in terms of when the severe weather will be at your house, here's where we're looking at. Again, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. up here. So basically now through 11 o'clock up in this area. And then after midnight, this should all be out of central Alabama. Now, the highest potential for a tornado tonight is going to be up here in this orange area. That's where that moderate risk of severe weather is. To the south of that is more of a limited risk of severe weather, but for places like Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, I can't rule out a severe storm. I don't see any sign of that developing on a radar right now. Again, we got a live view we've been watching carefully, a storm chaser feed that's been just east of Coleman, and I do not see. It's basically getting dark now, so it's hard to see anything from that video. Here's a look from Tuscaloosa, and we're looking off towards the northeast, towards the storms that are to the northeast of Tuscaloosa. And basically, these things are way too far away to be able to see anything from our perspective in Tuscaloosa. Again, we got Jacob Lanier in the Weather Center. Jacob, what's your analysis on these storms that are up here now?
Well, right now, Richard, I'm still concerned about near the county line between Cullman and Blount counties. This storm is continuing to have a southerly component, so it's moving east, southeast, and that just points out to me that it continues to have a potential tornado with it as it moves across the state line right now. And I am now just getting in a hail report of 1 inch southwest of Strawberry. That's in Blount County. So 1 mile southwest of Strawberry, we're getting reports of 1 inch size hail, and that's hail threat is in addition to the tornado threat moving into Blount County.
You know, we also have another suspicious storm back here that is just northwest Arley in Winston County. It's got kind of hook feature with that. Let me look at the velocity, and I do see a couple there. Yeah,
the National Weather Service said they are watching this storm. They're hoping for a little more organization before they do issue a tornado warning, but we will definitely keep an eye on those storms. All of these storms really have not much to the south of them, so they're able to feed off of the continued moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. This moving moist dew points are very high across central Alabama this evening.
Yeah, let's look at the kind of wide view of what's happening elsewhere. Now, we do have a storm that has formed on the Tuscaloosa and Walker County line that is not severe, and that is likely moving northeast pretty quickly. But if you notice, there's nothing to the south. You know, Jacob, what we've been talking about is very, very quiet to the south of these storms. In fact, many of us across central Alabama will not get any rain at all as the main risk of severe weather will continue to be across our North Alabama counties in that area. Really, we've been talking about for a while. And I do want to show you the watch warning map. And again, you see there's no active warnings south of that. Really, the Highway 278 corridor is kind of the dividing line currently where the storms are ongoing.
That's right. And the new tornado warning now in Blount County, I would like to point out that Blountsville United Methodist Church is now opened as a tornado shelter. Blount County EMA has shared that on their Twitter feed.
Okay, good, good, good. So we got, you know, options for shelters up here. Hey, I do want to mention also, Jacob, the tornado circulation that was in northern Coleman County. We had a confirmed tornado at one point with that. That is completely into Marshall County. So if you're looking towards Albertville and Douglas on Highway 75, just west of Boaz, that's where that rotation is with that. So again, that is good for that.
Yeah, the storm in Marshall County, there's still a tornado warning on it. That's in the Huntsville National Weather Service area, but that warning does go until 7:45.
You know, the storm that's coming across the Blount County and Coleman County line has kind of lost some of its organization based off the reflectivity.
I agree.
Does not look as impressive as it did just a little bit earlier. But that does not mean that it's not going to wrap back up and produce a tornado.
Right, yeah, this storm's kind of been cycling. This is kind of the second cycle that we've seen it go through now as it moves across the county line. Richard, that other storm you were mentioning back in Winston County, I just got another hail report of a quarter-sized hail. That was just to the southeast of Haleyville, so they're experiencing some hail there possibly as well.
Yeah, this storm definitely has, there's several storms we're watching carefully. You know, this one that's coming across the east portions of Winston County. Jacob has a suspicious look to it. And if you look at the Birmingham velocity, it actually has some rotation with this, if you see that. Now, that's from Birmingham. Now, keep in mind, Birmingham, the radar is pretty long way off, so that could be just upper-level rotation with that. But we'll see if the National Weather Service will continue one. There's also rotation showing up north of Crane Hill, kind of a little series of those. If you look here, we've got the one that's coming across the county line into Blount County, right on top of Blountsville. That's still some rotation there. Again, we've got our other rotation that is just north of Crane Hill, and then one just north of Arley. Now, the only tornado warning is in extreme East Coleman County and Blount County. Technically, Coleman County, the tornadic circulation has moved out. But we do know the severe thunderstorm warning for Coleman County, including that cell north of Crane Hill, has the context of possible tornado with that.
Right, yeah, and right now in Blountsville it's not raining, but that's just because they're right on that inflow notch and low echo region as that possible rotation could be entering. Now we do have a new tornado warning for Etowah County. That goes until 8:30 tonight, and that storm is near Albertville, moving east at 40 miles per hour. So that's coming back across the line from Marshall County, or Marshall and
that's the Marshall storm. So again, Marshall County, the tornadic circulation that's in that county is going to basically trim the north. So Sardis City, you're in the tornado warning polygon, Duck Springs, Turkeytown, Okay, you're under the tornado warning for that, and you see the red that extends back into Marshall County, including areas like Whitesville, Boaz, Albertville, and Mountain View. Now, the other tornado warning we've got is for extreme East Cullman County, northern Blount County, for the potential for a tornado that continues there, and that is north of Aniana. So if you're watching us in Aniana, and if you're watching us in Gadsden, the tornado warning is to your north technically.
Right. In addition to the tornado possibility in these two storms, Richard, I'm also very concerned about the hail now crossing the county line. You can see that white there on the radar. I'm getting a report now just to the north of Blountsville, hail golf ball size. That's 1 3/4 inch right there crossing the county line.
And this large hail is going to come right over 278. So Holly Pond to Rock Springs to Brooksville, and even down to Sneed. You need to be, number one, in a safe place for the potential for a tornado, but you also need to be ready for large hail that could damage your windshields, could damage your home. So that is a concern. And
yeah, well, Richard, also back in Coleman County where this storm was about 30 minutes ago, I'm getting more and more unconfirmed reports of car damage from that baseball-sized hail. And so we're hoping that updraft can weaken a little and we won't have as large hail as this storm moves east.
Yeah, look at the velocity couplet on this thing in Marshall County. My goodness, this thing coming across southeast Marshall County that's coming to northern Etowah County has an incredible couplet with this. Let me do a loop on this and kind of show you where it's heading. And you see how it's moving kind of more east-southeast. And again, this is going to move right over the Mountain Borough area on Highway 431. That's where that tornado warning. This is extreme northern Etowah County. Let me slow the loop down just a little bit. And what this thing is doing, it is basically wrapped up, and we got a very strong indication of a tornado to move right over the Hyatt community. And Highway 75 now, and again, this is moving into northern Etowah County in about 10 minutes from now.
Yeah, and Richard, the National Weather Service is saying that they're going to continue this tornado warning until at least 8 p.m. for Blount County, in addition to the possible tornado that's right over Blountsville moving east at 45 miles per hour. Tennis ball size hail could be possible.
So that'll do a lot of damage to your vehicle. Now, so right now we got 2 counties in our area that are under a tornado warning. Let me zoom out a little bit. And you see the tornado watch, that is the counties in yellow. That is where there is a potential for a tornado. But again, the highest probability for tornadoes will be basically north of Interstate 20. That's where that moderate risk is occurring. But we do note there are some storms that are developing across central Alabama that are north of Tuscaloosa. There's one near Samantha. Okay, there's one that is approaching Cordova in Walker County. This is not severe at the moment, but it could become severe. We got another one that is south of Aniana that's moving basically northeast. And we'll have to watch all these storms that do develop over the next few hours as they do have a potential to produce a tornado. But right now we have 2 storms that we are concerned about. The one that's in Blount County that's coming across Blountsville, that is approaching the Sneed and Susan Moore community, Friday's Crossroads, Hendricks, Horton's Mill. That's where we're looking at for a risk of a tornado here. And again, that's for the Blount County storm. For the Etowah County storm, it's coming into Sardis City now.
Yeah, Richard, if you might want to go to the debris signature and see if we can see anything on that near Sardis City. There's kind of a lower correlation coefficient there, but it also could be due to the very large hail in that area.
Yeah, you got a point there. It could be large hail. It's kind of throwing us off on that.
Right.
But I haven't seen any report of structural damage with that yet, which is good news. But keep in mind, we're looking a long way from the radar site, so it's going to be hard to see debris signature with that. We'll look at it from Birmingham. And again, it's just hard to see. I think there does appear to be a lowering in terms of the correlation coefficient there. But it's just hard to tell.
Right.
You know, it's very scrambled on the radar.
Very high up in the atmosphere. In addition to these 2 tornado warnings in our viewing area, I'd like to point out that we still have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. One of them is continuing for Winston County until 8 p.m. And that is near Double Springs, moving east at 30 miles per hour. So that is for Winston County, in effect until 8 p.m. 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail possible. So I'm just going to take over the radar real quick and recap what we're seeing here across central Alabama. We have 2 tornado warnings and 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. As I zoom in now to our northern counties, you can see we have a very strong tornado signature. This kind of has a hook on it. This is in northern Blount County, and I'm very concerned about Blountsville. As I zoom in, you can see you find your town on the map along US 231 and Alabama 79 between Blountsville and Rock Springs or Brooksville. Potential for very large hail, and then we're also seeing the rotation as this tornado warning is going to be continuing until 8 o'clock as this storm moves east at 45 miles per hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to time this out for us. The center of this storm right now is over Alabama 79, and this storm is moving at 45 miles per hour, so extremely fast. So what I'm looking at here is the potential for a tornado or at least large hail in Winville over the next 20 minutes. And Altoona or Harrisville also could be in the line of fire for this severe thunderstorm that could have a tornado with it in northern Blount County. We also do have a tornado warning for Etowah County, and that is including the Mountain Borough area, Duck Spring. So really, our northeastern counties are where we're seeing the potential for tornadoes right now, Richard. And we also have to remember we're seeing large hail in all of these storms across our northern counties.
Yeah, Jacob, there's a lot of instability available with these storms, and really they're tapping into that. I mean, we've clearly already had some reports of that across the area, and some of these have really dropped some tremendous hail. In fact, we're looking at Blount County, and whenever you see the grays and the blacks and the really dark shades of color like that, that represents a pretty large hail, and that's exactly what we've been seeing. So basically, if you start to see those gray shades on the radar, that's where we're starting to indicate hail that is potentially golf ball size. Now, this storm that's coming into Coleman County and Crane Hill, my goodness, it has that suspicious look, and it's also got a hail core with that. And a velocity coupler. Let me look at the velocity here.
Yeah, this is really going over this almost the same area that we saw just about 30 minutes ago in Coleman County. Yeah,
there's no doubt there's a rotation with this. Let me kind of reset things just a moment, show everybody out there. What we're looking at is 7:37. I'm Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. We've got Jacob Lanier in the Weather Center, and what you're watching is nonstop tornado coverage for some tornadic storms in northern Alabama. That's in our northern coverage area. We do note a few storms that are as far south as North Tuscaloosa County, southern Walker County, and southern portions of Blount County. But the reason we're on television is for tornado warnings in our viewing area that's in our extreme northern county. So what I'll do is take you into those storms and show you what we got. And we do have, before I do that, let me show you our watch warning map. So again, it looks like we also got a flash flood warning for Coleman County. Not surprised there because of the tremendous amount of rain that's falling in that part of the state. But if you notice here across central Alabama, there's no warnings at the moment. Now the counties in yellow, that is technically a tornado watch that's in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. Now the tornado warnings, we got one right there and the second one there. So again, we've got northern Blount County and northern Etowah County. Marshall County, which is in the Huntsville television market, is under tornado warning as well. But again, that is in the Huntsville television market. Our focus is northern Etowah and northern Blount County. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Coleman County and eastern portions of Winston County. To the south of that, nothing that is ongoing at the moment. Let me pull on the Birmingham reflectivity. And I'm going to take us back into our tornado storms.
And Richard, as you zoom into that, I'd like to share with you that we do have a report of a funnel near Blountsville about 5 minutes ago as that dry slot passed over the person reporting a possible funnel over Blountsville.
Yeah, and there's another storm down here below Aniana that's beginning to look severe. It's kind of getting those characteristics. You got a hook feature that's developing and potentially some large hail with that, and that's riding northeast. But what happens when these things get tall, they start to tap in the upper level winds. When they begin to rotate, they make a right turn, and we'll likely see this storm kind of turn towards the right as well. But again, there's appendage there for a potential tornado that's right here to the southeast of Brooksville. There's Blountsville. Okay, we got Altoona that's right here in Etowah County. Gadsden is on the very edge of your screen. Gadsden, you're actually very close to the tornadic storm as well. So we got two different ones here. There's one that's in Blount County that's going to move into Etowah County. And let me pan up to the other storm. So essentially, there's about to be two tornado warnings for Etowah County. One for the Gadsden area, and the other is for the northern portion of the area that includes Mountain Borough, Duck Springs, Turkeytown. Okay, that's coming out of the Boaz area. Let me pull on the velocity display and show you what we've got with this and see where the rotation is, because there's with that storm, it's a little harder to see the rotation from the reflectivity. But there it is, and really looks like this is mainly straight line winds that's coming through Mountain Borough. But Jacob, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some 60 to 70 mile an hour winds with that coming across Highway 205 north of Rockledge in Etowah County.
That's right. And Richard, the National Weather Service has just said they're going to continue that tornado warning for Etowah County. That goes until 8:30 tonight. And the potential is there for a tornado and golf ball sized hail in addition to those very damaging winds that it looks like on the radar now. So that storm is moving east at 40 miles per hour across northern Etowah County.
And we've also got another storm that we really need to watch back here that's coming across Crane Hill. I'll pull on the reflectivity, and you know, fortunately it doesn't look as sharp as it did. So I'm hoping that the National Weather Service will you know, watch this as long as us, and I'm hoping this thing will actually weaken a little more, and we won't see a tornado warning issued with that. But again, that's coming across western Coleman County. Crane Hill, the Trimble community, Good Hope, areas like that will be impacted by some strong winds. Looks like some hail that's impacting Coleman now.
That's right, Richard. And we also have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for Blount and St. Clair counties.
That's the storm we were just talking about. Look at that.
Wow. And so that is going until 8:15. That's located near Allgood and moving east at 50 miles per hour. And so with that storm, golf ball size hail and 60 mile per hour winds.
Let's do a track on this thing. And as it's moving off towards the east, you said 60 miles.
50.
Oh, 50. Yep. Okay. So here's some of the communities in the path of this. We got Steele at 7:57, Gadsden at 11 minutes after 8. We got Glencoe at 8:15. So just heads up some of those communities. Jacksonville, you could be impacted by some large hail and potentially damaging winds around 8:30. Virgo community, we're looking at about 8:40, and of course Piedmont 8:36. So just heads up, you got a dangerous thunderstorm that could become tornadic now that is moving east at 50 miles per hour. Again, that's coming out of Blount County. That's going to clip extreme northern St. Clair County. And I'm going to take this off here and show you the watch warning map quickly and show you what we got. And I do want to mention, you know, we've had a lot of hail reports out of this. Have we had any pictures come in yet?
I have not seen any pictures, but I do have another hail report of egg-sized hail. That's 2 inches just to the north of Blountsville and Blount County. So that's just a few moments ago as these storms are now moving through Blount County.
2-inch hail, that's very large hail. That'll cause a lot of damage to your vehicle. And a lot of people are dealing with that tonight across North Alabama, this huge hail threat. And you know, something we've been talking about is the large hail with this setup. And let me pull on the warning map. And
we do have another severe thunderstorm warning for Etowah County, also until 8:45 tonight. That's for large hail up to 2 inches and 60 mile per hour winds.
Wow. So we've got Winston County, Cullman County, portions of Blount County, northern St. Clair County, and most of Etowah County that's under a severe thunderstorm warning. We got North Blount County and extreme northern Etowah County that's currently under a tornado warning, and that is At the moment, all of the tornado warnings we have, although that may not be the end of it, I imagine we'll probably get at least a couple of more tornado warnings before this event does begin to wrap up. But it is 7:45 now, and if you're just now joining us, we got 2 tornado warnings in our coverage area, one in northern Blount County, one in northern Etowah County for the potential for a tornado that is there. We have had sporadic reports of damage from these 2 storms. In fact, we'll look back at these and look at the hail reports with these storms today. You know, some of these hail reports have been pretty large, and you see some of these official reports coming back. And you know, so far, we haven't had the official report posted for northern Coleman County for the tornado. Right. Potential tornado, but the only report of a tornado I see is actually in East Mississippi in Belmont. That is just to the northwest of Red Bay in northwest Alabama.
Yeah, I know Cullman County, their emergency operations center could have been potentially impacted by that tornado, and so that could be slowing down the reports coming out of that county. So we'll continue to monitor that, though.
Yeah, hopefully everybody there is okay and safe tonight. You know, we can't let our guard down because we still got ongoing severe weather across northern Alabama. We got several thunderstorms that are ongoing. There are some areas of rotation within some of these thunderstorms, and you know, really things are kind of starting to look a little more messy up here, Jacob. I don't know if you kind of noticed the trend over the past 30 minutes or so, but this thing is really kind of looking a little messy up here in northern Alabama.
Yeah, I think we're seeing some more moisture on the southern side of these storms. Right there in St. Clair County, where that severe thunderstorm warning is, could be blocking off some of the energy needed for that rotation potential in Blount and Etowah counties. But Richard, I also do want to say that the Storm Prediction Center is working on an extension of the tornado watch in eastern Alabama and into Georgia. They're saying that these could be long track tornado warned storms.
Wow, yeah, and we've been on air for a while for these. As they do move across northern Alabama. Again, the Highway 278 corridor has kind of been the hot spot here over the past really hours. So we're looking at velocity with this storm that's coming across Etowah County, northern Etowah County, and I do not see a very tight coupling with this. I don't want people to let their guard down, but I do not see extreme tight coupling like I saw just a little bit earlier. Hopefully that trend will continue, but it does appear that it may have weakened a little bit.
Yeah, and it looks like it's transitioning into more of a straight line wind damage possible. And I also think that weakening could be, like we were saying, because of that severe thunderstorm in St. Clair County.
Kind of blocking the inflow. And you know, one thing we've got to watch, Jacob, is, you know, we saw this happen in Coleman County. The southern storm becomes dominant, takes over, and produces a tornado. And we could see that here. You know, this storm that's coming out of St. Clair County that's moving into southern Etowah County, we could see that storm become dominant and become tornadic. Let me show you that storm on radar and on reflectivity. You know, it doesn't have a classic setup, you know, look for a tornado, but it is definitely something we need to watch.
Yeah, and if you can go to the velocity right there near Highland Lake with that hook, you can kind of see some broad rotation there.
Yeah, that could be our next storm. That could be the next one that becomes tornadic. And again, where you are looking at is extreme East Blount County and northern St. Clair County. Again, there's technically a severe thunderstorm warning for you. I'll show you the polygon here. And again, we're talking about extreme northern St. Clair County. If you're in Asheville up towards Steele Community, Gadsden, or Reese City, you've got a severe thunderstorm warning for you. And you know, we'll have to watch that. We could see this thing spin up and produce a tornado. It hasn't happened yet, but we saw that happen in Coleman County, and it happened pretty fast.
Right. And on that tornado warning in northern Etowah County, Richard, I am getting a report near Sardis City, south of Boaz, of some trees and power lines down, possibly with some rotation in that area. So
let's pull up the velocity display, and that is kind of passed by now. Yeah, it does look like it's transitioning more of a wind issue with that storm. I mean, look at Duck Springs. We've got some strong winds potentially with that. We can actually pull on the speeds of that. Let me look at the speeds. So we're looking at, look at it, 60-mile-an-hour winds there potentially from our radar.
And it's moving at 60 miles per hour, so that could do some real damage.
Yeah, it really could. I mean, we're talking about some pretty powerful winds there. with that particular storm. So again, 60-mile-an-hour winds at least with that. And again, that's the Storm Prediction Center did a great job with their moderate risk, I think, today, of where they thought the enhancement would be. And it has been up here. That 278 corridor seems like the hot spot.
Yeah, and in addition to the tornadoes, the hail was a big threat that we were expecting for today. And I know we're continuing to monitor the severe thunderstorm warning down in St. Clair County. Just as the scans come in, some possible rotation developing on that kind of funny shaped hook back there. Yeah,
Highland Lakes, we're kind of watching you, Highland Lake there. This is going to cross into northern St. Clair County. Whitney Junction, you got the Interstate 59 corridor up towards Steele. We're starting getting some mountainous terrain here, northeast Alabama. And, you know, sometimes these things struggle. Sometimes the mountainous terrain can kind of temporarily weaken the rotational development, kind of disrupt the circulation a little bit. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes it can happen. But usually when that happens, it's temporary. So we'll have to watch that carefully to see if we will get a spin up or not. And again, no doubt there's a hook feature right here at Highland Lake. And there is the Highway 231 interchange with Highway 11. It runs under the Interstate 59 corridor. And that's what we're looking at for, you know, potentially a new developing area rotation. Let me look back to the west, and you know, one thing I don't see is a lot of organization, Jacob. It looks like we kind of got a little hot spot here east of Coleman now. Over towards Gadsden. That seems like some kind of enhancement of maybe that's where the higher wind shear and instability are combined there.
Right, and the National Weather Service is recognizing that. They actually canceled the tornado warning in Blount County and replaced it with a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 8:45. And they include in that the straight line wind potential that we're also seeing the transition to that in addition to large hail.
So right now we have one tornado warning in our coverage area. That is for northern Etowah County. That is north of Gadsden, including Sardis City. Okay, we got Turkey Town, Duck Springs, and even that storm, you know, has the look where it's becoming more of a damaging straight line wind. We'll look at the velocity, and we really need to watch this because this thing could spin up again. But you see the strong, powerful winds coming through Duck Springs, areas like Tabor community. We got Murray Cross, Turkey Town, Daisy, Luke, and areas like that across northern portions of Etowah County. So again, if you are in Duck Springs, you need to be in a safe place. For the potential for some strong, powerful winds, understand it doesn't take a tornado to produce a risk for life and property. Falling trees can easily cause a threat to life and property. We're going to look at this storm down here to the south that's coming into St. Clair County, and the rotation is very noisy. But it could spin up at any time. So again, that's something we need to carefully watch. Other storms out there are showing signs of rotation, but there's nothing to trigger a tornado warning at this time. The rotation is kind of broad on most of those storms. So let me go back over to our radar. I'm going to look at Birmingham for now. And that storm, you know, coming to St. Clair is definitely has that look.
Yeah, I'm looking at the velocity from Huntsville's radar, and actually aloft we're looking at some very high rotating winds. So this may not be a tornado on the ground, but in the upper levels, this storm in St. Clair County could be rotating, and that's the characteristics of a supercell. So it could be producing a wall cloud or a funnel. As we speak in St. Clair County, that is between Highland Lake and Asheville, now along the Interstate 59 corridor in St. Clair County. So to refresh there in St. Clair County, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 8:15 for golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. In addition to that, we're monitoring here with Richard Scott the potential for some rotation in this storm. You can see the hook just to the east of Highland Lake. And if I switch over to the velocity, you can see it's still kind of messy, but those reds and pinks, reds next to each other, we are definitely monitoring this for the potential as this rotation nears Whitney Junction and prepares to cross Interstate 59. So I'm going to go back over here to the reflectivity, and you can see the hail threat that I was talking about with those grays and whites right now on top of Interstate 59. That's between Whitney Junction and Gilbert. Some large damaging hail is possible as this storm moves off to the east at 50 miles per hour, Richard.
Yeah, let me show you the hail we've got. This is,
Wow.
I've got some pictures. This is from between Coleman and Good Hope, and let me pull this up on air so you can see this live. And again, this is large hail. This is actually, we've had some reports of baseball-sized hail here. And again, that will cause some significant damage. This is in Cullman County. And again, this was in Good Hope and close to Coleman. Look at the hail that's
Wow.
over the ground there.
Yeah, and that's the same storm that about 45 minutes ago we had some reports of some car damage from baseball-sized hail. And
Yeah.
so I think across Coleman County there's a lot of varying size hail, as you can see here.
Yeah, and that's the situation I think we're going to deal with tonight, especially for northern Alabama, is this tornado potential coupled with a very large hail potential with the thunderstorms. But just kind of showing what is happening out there with the storms is that's some pretty dangerous stuff there that's falling from the sky, quite frankly, is this hail risk. And you know, something we've talked about for days now is the potential for some really large hail up here. And unfortunately, this is kind of actually occurring. And, you know, I think you're right, Jacob. If you look at these storms here, I think the southern storm is kind of blocking some of the inflow. You see this over northern St. Clair. The storms that are up here in northern Etowah are not near as impressive as they were just a little bit earlier.
Right. And one thing that may indicate there's not a tornado right now in St. Clair County is it's kind of moving off to the east-northeast. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have that southerly component
right.
as it goes towards south side. It's probably just rotating with a supercell right now. Although, and like we've been talking about, Richard, this has been turning into more of a straight line wind threat across northeast Alabama. So up here in St. Clair and Etowah counties, moving into the I-59 corridors where we're seeing some damaging winds possible and large hail. So the National Weather Service in Birmingham has just trimmed down this severe thunderstorm warning in St. Clair. So Highland Lake, you're no longer in the severe thunderstorm warning. Springville, you're out of the severe thunderstorm warning. But along Interstate 59 between Asheville and Steele, we are still looking at the potential for some large hail and damaging winds as this rotates. Even if it doesn't produce a tornado, there's the potential for that rotating updraft to hold up some hail, and it could be falling, like we saw back in Coleman County, some tennis ball size hail possible in many of these storms. So I'm going to zoom back out and kind of give you an overview of what we're seeing across north central Alabama. All of this storm activity is north of Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham. We're not seeing any severe warnings at this time, but we do have a stretch of solid severe thunderstorm warnings. Basically, from Winston County all the way over into Etowah and St. Clair counties. And with these thunderstorms, we are looking at the potential for large hail and damaging winds along the US 278 highway. So I'm going to zoom back in now to Coleman County and recap there where we saw a possible tornado earlier about an hour ago. And now I'm just looking at the potential for some hail, maybe not as large as we saw earlier, but definitely quarter-sized hail possible in Coleman County. Our stronger storms are off to the east in northern St. Clair County. This is the storm we've continued to watch for potential rotation. I'm going to switch now to our velocity mode and see, yeah, I'm seeing a little more organization there over Asheville or Whitney Junction. Nothing tight yet, so it's probably not a tornado, but there's definitely could be a rotating wall cloud with this as this moves off to the east. So if you're in St. Clair County or in Etowah counties, you need to be in a safe place. If there's not a tornado on the ground, there definitely could be some damaging straight line winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour. That will down some trees and power lines and potentially cause some damage. So as I kind of query these winds right now, I'm seeing velocity up to 95 miles per hour. This isn't on the ground, but this is aloft a couple thousand feet off the ground. And looking now at Almore, Alabama, we have some photos coming in, Richard.
Seth, I'm going to call for the weather iPad here in just a moment because we're getting some pictures in, but just hold off on that just a second. But again, we're getting some damage reports and some damage. Okay, it's Catherine. Thanks, Catherine. We're getting some damage pictures, and we're going to show that here in a minute. But Jacob, if you'll continue while I get these pictures real quick.
Yeah, Richard. To monitor these two severe thunderstorm warnings in St. Clair and Etowah counties. The main threat with this is that hail and damaging winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour. This is right along Interstate 59. So Gadsden right now, a major population center in northeast Alabama. It's raining heavy, but there may be some stronger rain with some damaging winds and large hail moving into your area over the next couple of minutes. And Richard, if we can get that weather iPad up.
Yeah, as soon as we can get that, guys, just let me know. If not, I can pull it up in the weather center. But again, we're getting some damage reports.
Right.
This is what we're looking at kind of behind the scenes here is over in Limestone County, but some significant structural damage with that. But again, that's something we'll look at. And Catherine, if you'll just let me know when you've got that. But what you're looking at live on TV is look at the radar. And again, this activity is becoming a lot more noisy. I'm really hoping this trend continues. Looks like it's turning into very heavy rain and large hail event with the potential for possibly a few tornadoes in there. Okay, Catherine's actually got this, and we're going to pull this live on air. This is pictures from Ardmore, Alabama. This is over in Limestone County. Very significant damage from what was likely a tornado that moved through here a little bit earlier. You see the structural damage with that. Again, this is over in Ardmore and Limestone County. Very tragic to see. No doubt there was a tornado with this. That's not straight line wind damage, that's tornado damage. But again, that's up in Limestone County, which is in far northern Alabama. That's the supercell thunderstorm that produced that earlier today. So certainly, something you don't want to see is confirmation of damage being produced by these particular storms. I do want to mention, by the way, this is hail. Look at this, Jacob. This is in Coleman.
Wow.
This is tremendous hail with this particular storm that came across Coleman a little bit earlier.
And we're also getting hail from this same storm now in Blount County, golf ball-sized hail just to the northeast of Susan Moore in Blount County.
Yeah, so we got a lot of reports of some large hail. Look at this baseball-sized hail. This was in Coleman County as well. And I like the reference there. Literally a baseball right next to the baseball-sized hail. That kind of gives you a good, advantage of what is actually happening. And look, that's a great word of advice. If you got hail at your house, send us your pictures. Tweet us at Richard WVUA 23. I'd love to see those, and we'll retweet those too. But again, use something as a reference, kind of like that. That's a great way to see how big the hail is. But again, that's the situation with that. Catherine, if we go back over to the graphics and show you what we got. And again, let me pull on the warning display here. And we got one tornado warning that's an extreme northern. Here's a new tornado warning now for Cherokee County. And Jacob, I'll let you get that information here in just a moment. But a new tornado warning has been issued for Cherokee County.
Yeah, okay, so we do have that tornado warning goes until 9 p.m. For Cherokee County. That is radar indicated rotation, and the rotation where the tornado could be is right on top of Tabor Road. That's 11 miles west of Center, moving east at 45 miles per hour. So with this storm, we could see a tornado and quarter-sized hail possible. This is now in Cherokee County in northeastern Alabama. We do have some rotation indicated on radar.
And before we go to that, Jacob, I want to show you this too, our information online. If you are not able to watch us on television, if you go over to WVUA23.com and click the Live Severe Weather tab, if you click the Weather tab, you can click the Live Severe Weather option. We are streaming live online as well. So just kind of some information there. Also, if you go over to our weather blog, Jacob is updating that as well with all the watches and warnings. It goes to social media as well. So just multiple ways you can get information from us. And look, if you get some damage, some pictures, some kind of weather pictures you want to send, tweet me at Richard WVUA23 or at Jacob Lanier WX. You can also do that on Facebook and on obviously on Facebook as well. So just some ways to get information. So let me go over to radar, and we're going to kind of reset things because we've got a new tornado warning for Cherokee County that goes until 9 o'clock. So it is now 8:04. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott is just now joining us. I've got Jacob Lanier in the Weather Center with me. We've got a full staff here watching and getting this information for you. And currently we have one tornado warning on the map. And again, that's for Cherokee County and extreme northeast Alabama. All the green you see there, that is ground clutter around the radar side. That is nothing to be alarmed about. That's just a ground clutter ring that forms this time of the evening around the radar. Let me take you into Tuscaloosa County. Again, for northern Tuscaloosa County, got one little shower that's over at Wyndham Springs, moving northeast into Walker County. Nothing significant with that. We got more showers. There's one in Walker County. Just kind of showing you what all's out there before, if you're watching in different parts of the state and trying to figure this whole thing out. We've got more rain that's up here in northern Walker County. Some pretty heavy rain, possibly some small hail that's on Highway 195 that moves between the Walker and Winston County line. That's also Fall City, the Ardley community as well. Crane Hill, we got some pretty heavy rain falling there. Coleman down to Good Hope, possibly some small hail with that. I wouldn't think there'd be anything larger than quarter size. We got potentially for some more large hail that's coming across the Blount and Cullman County line. That's going to be moving over Blountsville, Royal, Brooksville. Very heavy rain falling there.
Richard, I would like to chime in. If you want to go over to that Cherokee County storm, we now have a report of a funnel cloud spotted just over Leesburg near Slackland. And so that is in the western portion of that new tornado warning that does go until 9 p.m.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the hot top radar so we can get a better perspective of this. And again, this is where your rotation will be. You said just west of Leesburg?
Yes, that's correct. The funnel cloud is right on top of Leesburg. Yeah,
so that's where your rotational signature is. I'm going to pull up the velocity display on this. And again, there's your couplet, and understand the way radar works. It takes about 4 or 5 minutes for each update. So we're waiting on the next scan, which will put the radar couplet likely right here on top of Leesburg, which correlates perfectly with the funnel cloud report. Hopefully that will remain a funnel cloud and not a tornado. There's Sand Rock. There is the Georgia state line, and once this moves into Georgia, it will be out of our coverage area. But again, that's a storm we got to watch. It moves across northern Cherokee County. There's Center. Okay, we got Weiss Lake down here. We got Sandy Springs, Sand Rock. There's Galesville, Kirk's community. You're all on the path of the potential for a tornado that could develop here in this area rotation with this particular storm. And tell you what, I'm going to put on the warning. And there you go. So again, northern Cherokee County technically still under a tornado warning with the potential for a tornado there. But that's the same storm that's moving into Cherokee County, correct?
Yeah, that's right. The warning goes until 9 p.m. tonight, and that's for the potential for tornado and 1-inch sized hail. This is moving off to the east at 45 miles per hour. And again, we're getting reports of power flashes and a possible funnel cloud over Leesburg. That is in western Cherokee County as this storm moves off to the east. And Richard, what is unique about this storm is that I don't see the classic Cook signature, but we're getting reports of rotation, a funnel cloud, and power flashes. So I would definitely be in your safe place if you are in Sand Rock, Leesburg, or Center in Cherokee County.
Yeah, this is definitely a dangerous thunderstorm. We're getting reports of some power flashes again, as Jacob had mentioned, and that's not good. If there are power flashes, there's a chance there could be a tornado down. There's still a chance it could be damaging winds, but if you look at the history of this thing, what this thing has done, there's no doubt there could be a potential for a tornado here. And again, there's Leesburg, Center, Cedar Bluff, Howells Crossroads, Kirks, Galesville, officially down to Sandy Springs, Noah, okay? And it looks like something was added over here. I didn't catch it there. That may have been over in Georgia.
Yeah, I'm I'm not seeing anything here from Birmingham.
Okay, I see it was a tornado watch was extended into Georgia.
Right, okay, so that's what's happened. So that's that tornado watch we were talking about earlier. They're extending it for these tornado warnings that are crossing the state line and the continued rotation. I'd also like to point out we don't have a warning in Jefferson County, but we're seeing some thunderstorm wind damage from Jefferson County right now reported from the EMA.
Yeah, and what is that the cell that moved across the northern part of the county?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let me take you down into that, Jacob, and show you where that is, because it's not technically a severe thunderstorm warning, but we do have a thunderstorm that has moved across here. So, yeah, that storm there that just moved across Warrior and Morris and Kimberly and Gardendale looks like it has put down a little bit of wind. We look at the velocity with this. I don't see much with it. But, again, these storms have a history of producing some damage, so not surprised at all with that. And look at this rotation that's popped up near Altoona.
Wow.
That's in Cherokee County. That is just west of Gadsden.
That's not good because that is moving directly towards Gadsden.
Yes.
We do have a new severe or a continued severe thunderstorm warning, for Etowah County. That's going till 8:45. And Richard, I also got another report of a funnel cloud in Leesburg, so multiple funnel and wall clouds reported there. And as that moves off to the east at about 45 miles per hour, again, Leesburg, Sandrock, Center, and Cherokee County, you're under a tornado warning until 9 o'clock. So please be in your safe place.
Yeah, and what we need you to do, if you're in a mobile home, you got to get out of that now. You got to find a site-built structure ahead of this thing and get in that. Don't take a chance. This is a very dangerous situation for what could be easily a tornado down with that particular storm. But again, this is a very dangerous situation. If you're just now joining us, our Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott along with Jacob Lanier, we are watching a dangerous situation for the potential for a tornado that could be down. That's coming across portions of Cherokee County, and this is certainly a dangerous situation, again, for the potential for a tornado that's coming right across Leesburg now. I'm going to change over to high top, and this thing is so far away from the radar side it's extremely noisy. But just take your word for this. If you are in Cherokee County, Leesburg up to Round Mountain, you need to be in a safe place right now.
Yeah, Richard. So to recap, we're getting reports of multiple funnel clouds around the Leesburg area. That's in Cherokee County and northeast Alabama. We do have a tornado warning that is going until 9 p.m. there. That is our main tornado threat that we're watching right now across central Alabama. The rest of our northern counties are just under severe thunderstorm warnings for damaging winds and large hail. But this is the tornado threat now in Cherokee County. You're looking at it if you're in Leesburg, Center, Round Mountain, Cedar Bluff. This is moving east at 45 miles per hour and will be over your town within the next few minutes. So please be in your safe place. I'm seeing growing rotation on this storm.
Yeah, so this is a dangerous situation again for Cherokee County. And again, this is far north, the northeastern tip of our coverage area. Again, this is going to be moving out of Cherokee County probably within 30 minutes or so. This thing's moving pretty fast at a good clip, so we'll have to see how fast it does indeed happen. Looks like I got a new severe thunderstorm warning for Calhoun County. Or is that is an extension from the old one?
Yes, it looks like that's correct. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. That was within the last 2 minutes until 9:15 for Calhoun County. So that is extending into the Jacksonville, Piedmont areas. This storm is pushing east at 45 miles per hour. And so as I zoom into that area across northeast Alabama, you can see there's that new severe thunderstorm warning for Calhoun County. So as you're looking at this, you can see we have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings across northeast Alabama. and a lot of that is for damaging winds up to 60 or 70 miles per hour and large hail. Richard, we've been getting reports of hail from multiple counties, some as large as baseballs, and that threat does continue, especially in the Gadsden and Southside areas right now. As I zoom in, that black or gray area that's possible could see some large hail.
Yeah, and again, I'm just seeing this pop up here, a new severe thunderstorm warning for Cullman County as well. Goodness, we're just continuing to get these severe
Richard,
thunderstorm warnings.
I would like to say that new warning in Coleman also includes the possibility of a tornado. Yeah. So that is going until 9 p.m. For central Coleman County. Until 9 o'clock, we're looking at the potential for a severe thunderstorm that could produce a tornado. We have already had the potential for a tornado in Coleman County about an hour and a half ago, Richard.
All right, so again, we got several severe thunderstorms out there. So let me show you exactly what we've got on the map. So just to kind of avoid confusion here, because I know there's a lot at the same time. So here is the watch warning map. And again, there's no active severe weather occurring in West Alabama. And Jacob, I can say this with confidence, there is a very limited risk of anything becoming severe in West Alabama.
Yes.
It looks like the chance for that is really diminishing as the best combination of shear and uplift kind of move over into East Alabama and into Georgia. So again, to kind of reset things, it's 8:15. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning with the context of a possible tornado in Coleman County. There's a new tornado warning there.
We have a brand new tornado warning. This is actually because there's a report from state troopers of a tornado on the ground in southern DeKalb County that is crossing the county line into Calhoun and Etowah counties. That tornado warning is for Calhoun and Etowah County, goes till 9 p.m. And that severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is moving east at 45 miles per hour.
All right, so let me go into this. And again, this is extreme southern Etowah County. Okay, we've got a potential for a tornado that is extremely high now. We got a report of a tornado with this. And again, this is the one that's coming across northern portions of Calhoun County. We got Jacksonville there. Okay, there's a Reed's Mill right there. And Ohatchee is right there. So again, we're looking at areas north of that, Ohatchee right there. Let me pull up the velocity display and show you what we're looking at for potential for a tornado right there. And again, this is in southern Etowah County moving into northern portions of Calhoun County. So if you're just now joining us, we got a dangerous thunderstorm that could be producing a tornado that's moving basically out of southern Etowah County into northern Calhoun County.
Yeah, that's right, Richard.
And that's the one, correct?
Yes, this storm is near Neely Henry Lake or Rainbow City there, and it is moving east at 45 miles per hour in Calhoun and Etowah counties. So kind of jogging the county line there.
All right, so again, we got 2 tornado warnings now, so let me go back over to our watch warning map and show everybody out there, because I know a lot of people are asking about different areas. So again, here's a brand new tornado warning that is for southern portions of Etowah County. There's Gadsden. This is south of Gadsden. We got a northern portions of Calhoun, including Jacksonville and Jacksonville State. There's Highway 21. There's Highway 204. There's 431 right there. Again, this tornado is going to be moving right down Highway 204 into Calhoun County. And again, it's coming out of southern Etowah County, south of Rainbow City, south of really along Highway 77, south of Rainbow City, and on 431 south of Glencoe. That's where the main risk of a tornado is with that. We have another tornado warning that is in Cherokee County. Let me take you up to that. And again, technically, we still have northern Etowah County under the tornado warning, but the circulation has moved completely into Etowah County now. So out of Cherokee, out of Etowah into Cherokee County. I said those backwards. So again, it's moving out of Etowah County into Cherokee County. We've got Center, Cedar Bluff, Galesville, Noah. You're all in the risk of a potential for a tornado. Let me pull on the storm relative velocity and show you what we got with this particular thunderstorm. And again, there's your rotational signature right there, right on top of Center. Okay, so it's now east of Maple Grove and correct me if I'm wrong, Jacob, but the tornadic circulation that was in northern Etowah County, this is it right here. It looks like that's it. So not sure why northern Etowah County is still under tornado warning.
Yeah, it's kind of split because Calhoun and Etowah kind of have two ongoing severe or tornado warnings. I think we're looking at the one right now up in Cherokee County.
Yes.
And so the newest warning, if you move to the south a little, as you were talking about earlier, does include Jacksonville, Piedmont, and South Side. And I'm seeing very tight rotation now near South Side.
That's right on the county line there.
Yep.
So again, what we've got is very tight rotation down here near South Side. And again, that's in southern Etowah County.
That's right,
okay,
along the county line.
And then the northern, now see, we have two tornado warnings. You see that right there. And again, that's there's one in northern Etowah and one in southern Etowah. But the northern Etowah County tornadic circulation has moved completely out of the county.
Right.
It's moved into Cherokee County. So yeah, I was kind of confused why there's still a tornado warning for northern Etowah.
Right, so North Etowah County is in the clear. We do southern Etowah County just near South Side along that county line. Right, that is where we're tracking a potential tornado with very tight circulation.
Yeah, and there's no doubt this thing's heading right towards Reed's Mill. If you're in Reed's Mill, you need to be in a safe place now. That includes the lowest floor of your home. Markton, very dangerous setup there. Let me pull on the hazards and see if we got a TVS popped up on our computer. So again, a TVS, which represents a tornado vortex signature. That means there's a high possibility of a tornado there, which we have reports, so it doesn't matter if our computer says it or not. We've got reports of this thing. I can look at the details on this just to see it. And again, the tornado impact is a 5.2, which is significant. That's a high tornado impact for that. But we can go ahead and tell you that there is a tornado that is possibly ongoing that's moving out of southern Etowah County and completely into northern Calhoun County. So again, this is going to be impacting areas around Jacksonville, okay? So if you're on Highway 204, all right, where it interchanges with 431 or with Highway 21, you need to be in a safe place now. That includes the lowest floor of your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as you can, and we'll continue to watch this carefully. So I'm going to change radar. I'm going to go to high top.
And yeah, Richard, if you want to put a track on that, it's moving at 40 miles per hour due east. And so that could really be impacting areas north of Jacksonville within the next 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, I'm going to do a path on this. And you said, what was that speed again?
40 miles per hour due east.
And again, here's some of the communities in the path of this. And Jacob, we're talking about the Prices area around 848, Piedmont 854, Pleasant Gap 905, Steedman at 10. If it holds together that long, there's not a lot of communities in the path of this, which is a great thing. It's kind of moving into a sparsely populated part of the county. Our big concern is Jacksonville and Jacksonville State. I mean, this thing is it's going to be very close to, if not just north of you. But I am really concerned about Jacksonville. So again, that's a dangerous thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. We've got reports of potentially a tornado there.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
So they did finally expire that tornado warning in northern Etowah County because that has well moved off into Cherokee County.
Yeah, that had me scratching my head why there's still a tornado warning there. But you got to understand the National Weather Service in Birmingham. They are extremely busy right now. So those guys are working hard to try to get everything going on with that. So again, here is the path of this, and again is what we're looking at is the tornado warning polygon. That's the red polygon. That is a tornado warning that is in effect. Okay, that is for northern portions of Calhoun County. Let me pan off to the north and show you the other tornado warning. That is for Etowah County, but it has now moved out of Etowah County. So ignore that. It is in completely into Cherokee County. So again, Etowah County, the tornado warning continues for the southern part of the county that's moved into Calhoun. Okay, the northern part of Etowah County, the tornado warning has expired. It is completely into Cherokee County now. So again, a dangerous setup for that, for the potential for a tornado. For two storms in our coverage area, Let me show you why perspective. Again, there are no other tornado warnings ongoing in our coverage area. We have 2 right now that are currently ongoing for Cherokee and Calhoun. Keep in mind, whenever the tornado warning moves across northern Calhoun County into Cleburne County, that is outside of our television market. Okay, so whenever that happens and there are no additional tornado warnings, we'll go back to program as we are coming up on our 10 o'clock news here in about an hour and a half. But again, we have 2 tornado warnings ongoing. So let me go back over to radar and show you what we got. Again, we've got 2 tornadic storms in our coverage area. Other storms are not tornadic, but they are severe. And we'll take you back into Coleman. We've got the threat for large hail going across Coleman County. That is now south of downtown Coleman, impacting areas like Huntsville. There's also a flash flood warning in effect for that. In northern Blount County, we've got Blountsville, Sneed, and Susan Moore that's in a large hail risk. Okay, in Etowah County, we also have the potential for large hail coming across Reese City, Gadsden, and Harrisville. In northern Calhoun County, we've also got a tornado warning for the potential for a tornado that's coming right up on Jacksonville State right now. That is a potential for a tornado that could be down. That's basically riding Highway 204 now, right towards the Jacksonville area. And then to the north of that, we got a potential for a tornado right on top of Center in Cherokee County. So again, Jacob, we've got several storms of concern in our coverage area right now.
As you were mentioning, a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, and with that is going to be the threat for some large hail, damaging winds. That's stretched now from Cullman all the way over to Piedmont and Jacksonville. So from really Interstate 65 to the Georgia state border, we're concerned with large hail, damaging winds. But then for the 2 tornado warned storms now in Calhoun and Cherokee counties, we are also watching the potential for rotation. As I go to the velocity mode, I'm going to zoom in here, and that is some very tight rotation along US 431 and the intersection of Alabama 204. That is moving east at 45 miles per hour. Again, not a heavily populated area, but I'm concerned about how close this is getting to Jacksonville and Tredegar and Jacksonville State University. So if you are anywhere along Alabama 204 or between Jacksonville and the Merrillton areas, you need to be in your safe place now. We have a potential tornado moving east towards your area over the next couple of minutes. Richard.
All right, Jacob, just kind of reset things. Let me take you back out to wide view and show everybody out there, because I know a lot of people are asking different parts of the state what is happening with the weather. And I'm going to take us back out to home view, kind of wide perspective, kind of show you where you are in reference to the severe weather. There is no active severe weather in West Alabama. I do not think we will see severe weather for areas around Tuscaloosa back towards Pickens County down to the south. I know technically there's still a tornado watch in effect here, but based off of the environment, it is looking less likely that severe weather will occur in West Alabama. Our main focus is going to be for areas along Interstate 65 and points east and north of I-20. Looks like that's going to be the highest concern for a tornado over the next few hours. That's where there's a perfect combination of shear and instability and uplift in tornado formation here. There's also a high potential for severe large hail that does continue in that area. Again, this is where that moderate risk was today. Again, and this is where the main severe weather action is ongoing. But notice again for West Alabama, we are completely dry. It's quiet, it's warm, it's muggy. But again, there's no issues of severe weather at all for West Alabama. And I don't think this is going to happen in West Alabama. And again, you know, Jacob, this is one of those things we've been talking about, is there's really the best ingredients for tornado formation is now kind of northeast of Birmingham.
Yeah, I think anywhere west of Interstate 65, I would say has very little tornado threat, almost none. And the rotation we're seeing is now in northeast Alabama. I am seeing some reports in addition to possible funnel clouds in Cherokee and Calhoun County, some quarter-sized hail. And in Cherokee County near Cedar Bluff, there's some road flooding just because of the heavy rain that's been over there for about an hour now.
Yes, tremendous amounts of rain, large hail and very heavy rain, so we are concerned about the flooding potential with that as well. So let me take you into Cherokee County. We got a dangerous thunderstorm, and we've actually got a beware region, Jacob. If you look at that from the Birmingham radar, that's called a bounded weak echo region. That's where your mesocyclone is, and you've got this area where there's most of the precipitation is being suspended aloft and rotating around your mesocyclone. Again, that's where your potential tornado is going to be in Cherokee County. It's now moving east to center. There's Cedar Bluff, and again, let me zoom a little bit more into this. And again, there's your rotation right over Piney now. There's Noah, Newberry Crossroads, and I'm going to pull up the velocity. And we're going to look at this live. And again, there's a TVS popping up on this. Let me pull up the velocity. Your rotation that's basically right around center down towards Ellisville. There's Bomar, Noah. This large area is rotating across Etowah County, across Cherokee County, across Cherokee County from center all the way down to Ellisville. That's where that's happening. So again, if you're watching us on Highway 9, where it interchanges with 283 that moves up into center, that's where your rotation is. The potential for a tornado is still high there in Cherokee County. Let me pan off towards the north just a little bit. And again, this is a large area. You see the mesocyclone. We got strong winds moving north here, strong winds moving south here. There's your velocity signature, your couplet. We can actually look at the details on that and see how strong the winds are within this. Let's pick out some of the stronger winds. We've got winds that are 62 miles an hour being reported by radar. Now keep in mind that's not on the ground, that's above the ground, but that potential could make it down to the surface and cause some damage. On the other side of this, you got winds of about 40 miles per hour. So again, you got gate-to-gate shear just like that. Some rotation occurring in that part of Cherokee County. Again, this is going to move into Georgia. There's your Georgia border. This is going to be moving into Georgia within about 25 minutes or so. It should be completely out of Cherokee County into the Georgia state line.
And yeah, Richard, as you were saying, these storms are moving now towards Georgia out of central Alabama. And so the good news is right now, the Birmingham National Weather Service has canceled tornado warnings for Etowah County. So the north and southerly component are both clear. And then these are our last two warnings now in extreme northeast area of central Alabama as they move off east at about 45 miles per hour. But that's still significant rotation near Jacksonville.
That is incredible. Very close to Jacksonville. So if you're in the Angel community, right on 204, the rotation is past east of Reed's Mill and Duke. Okay, it's approaching the Merrilton community, also Jacksonville, Rabbittown as well.
And Richard, I'm also now getting an observed and confirmed tornado in Calhoun County, right where we're highlighting this, just to the east of Duke, north of Jacksonville. So this is moving east at 40 miles per hour, and it is an observed tornado by radar.
Yeah, that's not good. And again, you're talking about this storm that's coming across Calhoun County. I'm really concerned about our friends up in Jacksonville. Again, we got a observed tornado that's moving across Calhoun County. This thing has crossed Highway 431. Again, there's Jacksonville right there. There's where Highway 204 runs into 21. And again, there's no doubt the rotation is there. That is an extremely tight couplet. That is moving off towards the east. And again, I'll tell you what, let's do a storm track on this and show you where this thing is heading, because we got a lot of areas in the path of this particular storm. Tell you what, I'll do a cone on this. Again, there's your very tight evidence of rotation. And there's some of the communities in the path of this. So right now it's 8:32. We got communities in the path of this right now. So Angel at 8:36, Jacksonville 8:45. Okay. We got Rabbittown, which is 8:58. We got Burns 9:02, Grantley at 9:08, Piney Woods 921, and Muscadine at 928. I've actually been to Muscadine a long time ago, but that's the times of arrival for those communities, okay? So if you're in that part of Calhoun County into our friends over in Cleburne County, that's what's heading your way. So again, this is crossing Calhoun County, about to move into Cleburne County right over there, and then cross into Georgia, which right at the edge of your screen, there's the Georgia line right there. So again, if you're watching us in East Alabama, in Calhoun County, into Cleburne County, there's a very high likelihood there's a tornado down with this. We've got some confirmation of that as well. Incredibly tight couplet. There's Piedmont. It looks like the rotation is going to be just south of Piedmont, moving just like that, right towards our friends over in, again, Cleburne County. So if you're in Etowah County, north of Alexandria, if you're north of Anniston, understand Anniston and Oxford is not under tornado warning with this particular storm, but there's extremely tight rotation there. That's about to cross Highway 21 just on the north side of Jacksonville. So again, a very dangerous setup for that particular storm.
Yeah, Richard, the National Weather Service office in Birmingham is saying that there is a very strong rotation and tornado on the ground in Calhoun County. So if you're north of Jacksonville or near that Highway 21, you need to be in your shelter now. That couplet continues to strengthen. I also have a new tornado warning for St. Clair County until 9:15. That's just behind this storm, actually. And it is able to rotate. It has no storms to the south of it. And so I think both of these storms now have pretty strong rotation in Calhoun and St. Clair counties.
Yeah, let me go down to that storm and show you what we got here. Again, we got a new tornado warning in effect, again, for St. Clair County. Let me pan down to the south and show you where that is. And I'm going to put the warning polygon on so you can actually see that. And again, there it is right there. Again, these storms are basically moving over the same general area. There's Asheville, Cool Springs. We got Highway 231, Highway 411, Highway 23. This thing is going to be north of Raglan in St. Clair County. This is on the south side of Interstate 59 now. For the potential for a tornado, pull up the velocity display. You can see that just south of Asheville. You need to be in a safe place right now.
Yeah, so this is a second area now of rotation that we're seeing behind the stronger storm in Calhoun County. So both St. Clair and Calhoun counties are under a tornado warning. And then the National Weather Service is also saying, Richard, if you can go back to that storm in Calhoun County, they are very concerned about
look at the rotation.
Right over Jacksonville.
Yeah, this is on the north side of Jacksonville. This is an extremely dangerous situation for the north side of Jacksonville. You need to be underground if you can. This is an incredibly dangerous storm, a situation that we are dealing with right now that could be extremely life-threatening for that particular storm. So again, if you're just now joining us, Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott with Jacob Lanier. We've got an extremely dangerous situation for Jacksonville right now, the north side of Jacksonville. Let me show you where this is in reference to the city of Jacksonville, okay? So here's Highway 204 that runs into 21 in downtown Jacksonville. We got an extremely tight couplet right here. We have likely a violent tornado associated with that. We'll look at the wind inside this thing. And again, this is an incredibly dangerous situation for a tornado that's on the north side of Jacksonville. Let's look at the couplet on here. We've got winds that are, goodness, 111 miles per hour outbound. We got winds that are 120. There's 121 mile per hour gate-to-gate shear with this storm. Jacob, this is the tightest couplet we've had all night. This is producing a tornado. This is possibly producing a violent tornado that's on the north side of Jacksonville. This is an incredibly dangerous situation for Jacksonville. If you're in Jacksonville, you got to be underground. It looks like the main threat's on the north side of downtown, but I still want you in your safe place in all of Jacksonville right now, as this is an incredibly dangerous tornado that's moving across that area now. Okay, there's Merrilton right there. There's Highway 21. We got the Prices community up here. Again, this is moving off towards the east. And what's the speed on that, Jacob?
This storm is moving east at 45 miles per hour.
Okay, so we got Jacksonville right here, moving east to 45. Next highway is Highway 9 over here. And again, this is an incredibly tight couplet. Let's go over to our reflectivity and just kind of see what it looks like on reflectivity. And there it is. You can see the spin there. And again, the rotational signature is literally right on top of Jacksonville. This is about as serious as it gets for Jacksonville. You got to be underground now. The tornado is right over on top of town as we speak. So again, this is an incredibly dangerous situation. Tell you what, let me pull up the correlation coefficient. Look at that.
Wow. Oh, no.
There's damage being done in Jacksonville, likely from a violent tornado. Again, this is moving right across the north end of Jacksonville in, wow, in Calhoun County.
That is not a good sight to see.
That is bad. So again, if you're just now joining us, I'm Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. We've got a very dangerous tornado situation for Calhoun County. Okay. Do keep in mind until 9 o'clock there's a tornado warning for Cherokee County. That one is radar observed. But again, this thing is coming right across Jacksonville as we speak. And again, this is just as serious as you will ever see. It doesn't get worse than this, again, for Jacksonville. So our friends up there in Jacksonville, let's do a loop on this.
Wow.
Look at the debris signature, how it popped up right when it moved over Jacksonville. This thing, there's a damaging tornado on top of Jacksonville as we speak. The next community in the path of this is going to be Rabbit Town. We can actually see the debris signature all the way from High Top, which is a radar site well to the north of this. We can see it from Birmingham and from High Top.
Wow.
So again, Rabbit Town, you're in the direct path of a dangerous tornado, a very dangerous situation. As this thing continues to move off towards east, it's also moving towards the Burns area, and then next stop is Cleburne County.
Right, and unfortunately, Richard, right behind this storm near Asheville, we also have an observed tornado on the ground that just crossed Interstate 59. And that we have a tornado warning for St. Clair County, and that goes until 9:15 p.m. So two rotating storms that we are very concerned about, although we are now looking at a possible confirmed and very large tornado near Jacksonville.
Yeah, the rotational signature is just unreal with this storm that has come through Jacksonville. What we're looking at is from the radar site all the way from High Top in northeast Alabama. A tornado has come across the city of Jacksonville with likely extensive damage. We're going to get reports out of that shortly. But again, here is Jacksonville. It's already passed to your east now. There's Rabbit Town and Burns. There is Cleburne County, the Cleburne County line there. It's about to cross Highway 9. If you live out here in this area, you need to be in a safe place immediately. Again, this is an incredibly dangerous situation. It doesn't get any more serious than this for likely a strong or potentially violent tornado here. Again, here's some of the roads. Let's look at some of the roads here. Again, here's the gate-to-gate shear, by the way. I'm just trying to show you what we got here. This thing is obviously not accurate on that. So.
And Richard, the National Weather Service is now saying that we have a very considerable damaging tornado on the ground just over Jacksonville State University, and that is moving east at 40 miles per hour. And they are now saying this is a particularly dangerous situation, tornado warning.
So this is a PDS tornado warning. Those are extremely rare. Those are only issued when we have confirmed violent tornadoes. So this is going to be a tornado emergency for a PDS tornado, particularly dangerous, likely a violent tornado that has come across a Jacksonville State University, the city of Jacksonville. It is now to the east of town. It's about to cross Highway 9. So if you live out here in East Calhoun County, anywhere near this thing, please get underground if you can. If you're a mobile home, you got to get out of that. If you're in a car, find a structure to get into now, because this thing will be fatal if you're in a car or if you're in a mobile home. I'm telling you now, a mobile home can only withstand an EF1 at best. This thing could be an EF2, EF3 or stronger type of tornado. So again, this is a deadly type of tornado that can kill people, okay? So if you're in eastern Calhoun County, you have a major threat for life and property, okay? So if you're on Highway 9, any of these little roads here, you have got to seek shelter immediately. This thing is about to move into Cleburne County. There's Burns, there's Rabbittown. This is going to be on the north side of Jenkins. It will be south of Prices, okay?
And Richard, I'm just going to chime in. The National Weather Service has extended
south of Piedmont.
a tornado warning into Cleburne County.
Yeah.
I know that's not our coverage area, but we have this large tornado on the ground moving across Calhoun and into Cleburne County. So as you're looking at the velocity couplet right now on our radar, if you're just joining us, we have a large, particularly dangerous situation for a tornado that just passed over the city of Jacksonville and Jacksonville State University in Calhoun County, and that is moving to the east at 40 miles per hour into Cleburne County. We have tornado warnings for both counties until 9 o'clock. And this is just a large confirmed on-the-ground tornado. You can see just a very tight couplet as if I can pull up the hazards here, you can probably see a couplet
Let's
rotating.
see if it'll pop up here. Yeah, I don't see it. Obviously, there's one there. We know there's a tornado down.
So Burns, Rabbittown are in the path of this storm within the next few minutes. You need to be in shelter now along Alabama Highway 9 there in eastern Calhoun County.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at reports here. This thing is incredibly, wow, this thing is bad. And by the way, I want to mention quickly in Coleman, the hail damage in Coleman is extreme. According to reports, there are car lots that literally have all broken windshields.
Oh my!
There are, some of the damage here we're just getting is just unbelievable in Coleman, and we'll try to get some of that video here in a little bit. But again, we have an incredibly dangerous situation that just happened in Jacksonville. A tornado has passed through town, likely impacting Jacksonville State directly.
Wow. So yeah, we've zoomed in now. This storm is just to the east-northeast of Jacksonville. So along Alabama Highway 9, you need to be in your tornado shelter right now. We have a confirmed damaging tornado, and we have debris at least 15,000 feet into the atmosphere from this storm. Very significant, and this is just in the worst possible place as it comes to tornado ingredients across central Alabama.
Yeah, I'm watching social media very carefully as well, Jacob, as we're trying to figure out what has happened in Jacksonville. We have a fear that the damage is going to be extreme here, right over right over Jacksonville State. I mean, this is a very bad situation here for that particular storm. And I do want to mention, by the way, the tornado circulation that's in Cherokee County, it's moving out. It is now out of the county. Okay, so we can say goodbye to the Cherokee County tornado warning.
That's good.
It has moved into Georgia. Okay, so Cherokee County, you're all clear with that. Okay, this storm, look at the couplet on this thing.
Wow.
Right over Rabbittown and Burns, there's an extremely tight couplet. And I'm going to pull up the debris signature. The debris signature is still there. It's right on top of Rabbittown. It's in a heavily forested area now, moving over Burns. So what you're likely seeing is debris that came from Jacksonville area and is still being lofted. I'm going to do a loop on this thing and show you where this tornado is going. And again, it's moving, it has made a turn to the southeast. If you notice that, you see that, the turn it has made.
Yeah, that's what we've been watching throughout the night, Richard. These strongest tornadic storms have a southerly motion. So that's just concerning to see.
Yeah, this thing has clearly made a turn. It picked up debris right on top of Jacksonville. So the tornado touched down originally near Jacksonville, moved right over town. That is incredibly troubling to see. It looks like a tornado went right over the middle of town, and it continues now. The tornado is over Rabbittown and Burns. This is what you're looking at as correlation coefficient, and I know this is quite noisy, but follow this. See that blue area? That's your tornado. That is it. That is debris that our radar dual pole technology is able to pick up. Again, the debris started to being lofted over Jacksonville. It has continued now as over Rabbittown. There's a damaging tornado on top of Rabbittown as we speak. If you live in Burns or Rabbittown, you got to be underground. It's too late if you're not. If you're in a mobile home, this thing will destroy a mobile home. There's no doubt about it. This thing you've got to get out of a mobile home. That's just the bottom line. Out of a car, out of a mobile home, you got to find a shelter now. It's coming into Burns. Okay, there's Cleburne County. Let me pan it off to the east just a little bit, show you who else is in the path of that. There's Grantley, okay, and then Piney Woods across Cleburne County. This thing is moving out of Calhoun County. It's moving out of Calhoun County as we speak, but it's on top of Burns, about to move on to Grantley. We got another tornadic storm. We got to go to that. Okay, so since this thing is moving into Cleburne County, which is technically out of our TV market, we got to go to the other storm that's tornadic now, but this is a very damaging, deadly tornado that is moving into Cleburne County out of Calhoun County. Okay, let me pull on the watch warning map.
Yeah, Richard, I can tell you that the tornado watch has just been canceled for Fayette, Lamar, Marion, and Winston counties up there.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. The dry line's already passed there. And really, quite frankly, I don't see a tornado risk for West Alabama. Anybody west of I-65, I just don't see this being a tornado threat. You know, I may be surprised, but I just do not see anything happening. I mean, let's look at the radar. I mean, there's just nothing back here. So I would be highly surprised if anything developed here. Clearly, all of our action is right here in northeast Alabama. So let me take you into some storms that are very dangerous.
Richard, what we're also concerned about is there's a new tornado warning now again for Calhoun County. So the threat is not clear for Jacksonville. We have a second tornado that's coming in about 20 minutes behind it.
Look at that.
Wow. So this new tornado warning goes until 9:30. This is a new storm, and it is behind the previous confirmed.
Oh, look at man, look at the rotation. So if you are in Jacksonville, you may not have power. All right, so there's one tornado there that's just north of Raglan. There's a new tornado that has developed there that's coming into Jacksonville now. You got to seek shelter immediately in Jacksonville. If you don't have power, or if you're watching us on your computer, your smartphone, or try to get the word out immediately. In the next 10 minutes, there's going to be a new tornado on top of Jacksonville. This thing is just spun up out of nowhere. And look at the rotational signature over Rabbittown. That is extreme. We have two potential tornadoes that's coming across Calhoun County. Okay. This is all north of Oxford and Anniston. This is not impacting Oxford and Anniston. It's all to your north. But again, Jacksonville, we likely have a new tornado that is about to move right into town as we speak. And the potential is high for a tornado there. The signature is very impressive. Let's look at the debris and hope there's nothing there. Okay, I don't see anything there at the moment. That does not mean there's not a tornado down. There could easily be one. Let me pull on our hazards. And I'll pull this on, see if we got anything there. And again, there's no doubt there's a tornadic circulation coming into Jacksonville right now.
And so if you are in Jacksonville, Jacksonville State, you just had a significant damaging tornado move through the city, and we are now getting a second round with a possible tornado on the ground not 20 minutes after the first one. So this is a very serious setup right now over Jacksonville and Calhoun County as this storm moves east. So it is not all clear in Jacksonville. There's another storm coming, Richard.
Yeah, and there's no doubt. It looks like the new tornado warning just popped up on our computer here. Let me show this quickly. Again, there's your tornado warning polygon. And let me zoom out Jacksonville. You're obviously in the middle of that, Rabbittown as well. We've got, again, the tornado warning for Cherokee County. Don't worry about that. It has now moved out of Cherokee County to the across the Georgia state line. We've got a tornado warning for St. Clair County. that is to the east of Asheville, okay? And we got a new tornado warning for Calhoun County that includes Jacksonville. Let me pull on the velocity. And these two things are monsters.
Wow.
This thing that has come through Jacksonville now over Rabbit Town is a monster tornado more than likely. This could be certainly a situation where there's a threat for life and property. And there's another tornadic circulation coming into Jacksonville as we speak. Hopefully the next scan will pulse down.
Yeah, we're very concerned for residents in Calhoun County. 2 possible tornadoes now. 1 confirmed, large and damaging. This one is also showing very tight rotation. So again, along Alabama 21, a large tornado just passed over your area, and we have another one lined up that will cross within the next 10 minutes. Richard, I know we have diminished the tornado threat. No more tornado threat behind these storms as of now, but we're getting in.
Look at the rotation over Jacksonville.
Oh, wow, it's picked up. So this second round definitely could be on the ground, this time just to the south of the center of the city.
Yeah, so we've had a tornado move over the northern part of the town.
Right.
Now. The southern part of the town. Let me look at the debris signature, and I don't see anything yet.
That's good.
Does not mean there's not anything there. But again, the velocity coupler is very tight right over the city of Jacksonville. White's Gap, you need to be in a safe place. Jenkins, you need to be in the same place as well. We're getting some damage reports from Center, which is in Cherokee County.
And then also, I think some tornado damage all the way back until Southside. So Southside is in St. Clair County, just across the county line. So we possibly had a large damaging tornado running all the way from Southside through Jacksonville and now into Cleburne County. That's very concerning. Yeah,
there's 3 tornadoes here that's potentially down. And what you're looking at is velocity. And again, you got Ohatchee right here. There's a tornadic circulation that's coming across Ohatchee that is moving into western Calhoun County. There's Alexandria. There's another potentially damaging tornado on top of Jacksonville. This is number 2. Okay. There's an extremely dangerous tornado that has crossed out of Calhoun County, now into Cleburne County. So Piney Woods, you're in the direct path of likely a violent tornado that has been on the ground for likely some time. So again, a very dangerous situation for areas over in Piney Woods, just south of Grantley and just north of Fruithurst. This is all north of Hetland. This is all north of Interstate 20 at the moment. Okay, these cells are moving off towards the east. Again, we got 1, 2, 3 tornadoes all within about 30 miles of each other that are like on trains on a track that are moving in the same direction. So again, Jacksonville is possibly being hit by another tornado as we speak, and then Rabbit Town's next, and then this one that's coming across that's moving out of Calhoun County is approaching Piney Woods as we speak. And again, that's in Cleburne County. There's the Georgia border right there. This is all to the south of Piedmont. But again, you likely have some pretty heavy rain in Piedmont. So let me take you into these storms.
And Richard, as you do zoom in, we are getting reports now from fire officials in Jacksonville saying that the roof is missing from the local Dollar General, and there is a car in a tree, and that Gamecock Village and Reserve Apartments, possible student living, have been hit by a possible tornado there. That's coming from the Jacksonville fire officials, unconfirmed, but still very sad. Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll continue to get reports out of this. Again, this is your damaging tornado. This is over in Cleburne County. Now, here's your county line. This is Calhoun County. Here's Cleburne County. There's a Piney Woods there. And again, that is a damaging tornado that has moved out of Calhoun County. So again, we got another tornado that's right here that has just moved through the south side of Jacksonville, south of the interchange of 204 and 21. Looks like this rotation is on the south side of downtown. Okay, I'm going to pull up the debris, and I do not see anything right now, which is fantastic.
I do not see the incredible debris signature we saw with that first storm. Doesn't mean there's not anything down, but I don't see the classic debris signature we saw just a few moments ago. I'm going to pull on the Birmingham reflectivity. There's your tornadic circulation right there. Again, between Jacksonville and White's Gap. There's Highway 9, there's Jenkins, there's Rabbittown. Again, that's where the circulation's heading, east just like that, maybe slightly east-southeast. Your other tornado is in Cleburne County. That's it right there. You can clearly see where the tornado is. That's your debris ball, your debris signature. That's it. Again, there's Piney Woods. This thing's going to hit Piney Woods head on in Cleburne County. So again, Cleburne County is technically out of our TV market. So let's focus on the storm in Calhoun. That is just to the west. Again, we're talking about Highway 9. This is going to cross Highway 9 near Jenkins. So this potential tornado that has moved through the south side of Jacksonville, that's number 2, is moving over Highway 9. There's Jenkins, Rabbittown. Burns, you're going to be in the large hail of this. Looks like large hail on the north side of Jacksonville, possibly golf ball size hail with that. Okay, so let me zoom out just a little bit and show you what we got, because we've got another tornadic storm behind this right here. And goodness, just these two back-to-back storms are unbelievable.
Yeah,
they
Richard,
both have a hail core and everything.
Yeah, the tornado warning has been continued for County as this, like you were showing, lined up now. And again, we're getting reports of damage in Calhoun County as well as up in Cherokee County, where we've had our recent 2 tornado warnings. We still have some rotation over Calhoun County. Another strong storm just passed through Jacksonville, and we're watching the final rotating area just to the west of Alexandria there. So a tornado warning does continue until 9:30 for that area for Calhoun County, and hail up to 1 inch possible. This is moving east at 40 miles per hour.
Now, the rotation that just passed Jacksonville is weakening. Right. The last scan does look a lot weaker. Thankfully, that's really between Whitesides Mill and Rabbittown. Okay, so this is moving into Cleburne County as well. Well, here's the perspective from high top, and it actually looks still pretty impressive there. Again, that moved across to Jacksonville and now is moving into Rabbittown. The tornado warning, the dangerous tornado we had that moved across Jacksonville just a few minutes ago, is now into Cleburne County. And that tornado warning continues until it moves into Georgia, and there's another one directly behind it. And while we've got this pulled up, I want to look at the debris signature. And let's do a loop on this and just kind of see what's happening. And it kind of looked like a little bit of a debris signature popped up near Jacksonville with the second one, if you see that on the map there, Jacob.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, possibly over there near Rabbittown.
So yeah, that could be hail too, so we need to watch that carefully. But again, that's the latest with that particular storm. Very dangerous setup for potentially 2 tornadoes that's moving across